Good morning, everybody. Welcome back into the stream. It's another episode of the day-to-day life of a reseller. My name is Dustin, the Delco Reseller, and today we are going to get started with shipping some orders out, talking about some topics, and all the usual. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Appreciate it a lot. And we are going to go ahead and get started here. Let me make sure everything's good to go. No music playing, which is always a good thing. Looks like my mic's working. So if you're in the live chat and can let me know if everything is good to go, I would appreciate that. But we're going to get started today, and we've got some cool topics to talk about, some things that I've been wanting to talk about for a little bit. What's up, Shelly? Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it. Looks like we're all good. Andrew's in the house. All right, good to go, loud and clear. Awesome. That's the way we like it. Mondays tend to be Mondays, and you never know what's going to happen. And recently, there's always been one hiccup or the other, and hopefully today we can skip past all those and just get right into the video, as we like to do here. So, but today we are going to be talking about a few things. We'll get into that in a little bit. We're going to be talking about Amazon, and that's kind of a big topic. Lots of options to talk about there, but we're going to talk about some of the big changes that they've been making and how they're kind of cracking down, I guess you could say. And it feels like it's really cracking down on us resellers, especially us small guys. But we're going to get into it a little bit more in depth and talk about that. We've also going to be talking about a few things with eBay, one of them being AI and kind of how they're involving that with eBay. And then what else? Talking about pricing and stuff like that. So we've got a lot of topics. We've got about 45 orders going out today. I don't know if we'll get to all those in the video, but we are going to go ahead and get started with the first one just to kind of get rolling, and then we'll talk about some of these awesome topics that I think are going to be interesting, and I welcome your guys' input on them as well as we go through here. So never feel bad about leaving comments, questions, anything like that. Always happy to help, and always looking forward to seeing what you guys have to share and say about these ideas just as much as I am. I'm no expert, but I like to share my opinions, as most of us do, and looking to see what you guys feel about these topics and stuff, and just get a discussion going. It's not just me here to talk about, what would you say, me and giving you guys advice. This goes both ways, and I appreciate your guys' input as well. Shelby said, in considering leaving Amazon, tired of the volatility. I cannot say that word. Volatility, right? Yeah. I know what you're saying though. Yes, and I'll be honest with you. I think everybody as an Amazon seller has had that feeling once or twice. It's not great. It can be really rough, but then you have those days where you make great sales over there, and then it makes it feel like it's all worth it. So I get it. And like I said, that's kind of what we're going to be discussing, just seeing if, is it really still worth messing with, especially if you're having issues like I know a bunch of people have been. One thing, guys, real quick, I am using the mic without the wind filter. I don't know why I had it on so much, and it looks like I'm peeking out a little bit. So let's drop this volume down a little bit. If you hear too much of the boxes and stuff like that, let me know. I can put that back on there. I don't think it's going to matter, but just in case, we are trying this out a little bit different here, and I don't want it to feel like I'm yelling at you guys either, which it looks like I dropped it too much now. So let's bump that back up. Hopefully that'll be right about there. All right, but before we get into all the good stuff, let's talk about the first order going out. We had these yellow Stanleys. We picked these up from a bread and butter call out. I think we actually bought these from Amazon, and we only paid, I want to say $25 for these. Lost my SKU. Yeah, $25 for these. They were selling really, really great when they first came out, and they weren't available everywhere. Now this color is pretty much standard everywhere, but we are still getting 45 out of them, basically making our money back. We might make a couple bucks on it, but nothing too crazy, $5-10 at the very max. But we are still selling them. I still have, like, I want to say probably 20 of these left, so hopefully they continue to sell. I just need them out, honestly. I need the space back. But we can't go much cheaper than that, otherwise we're going to be not making anything. I am cheating here, guys. I'm not going to ship it in a folly, but I am sticking it in one of these flat rates for now. We've talked about this in the past, how I can't get rid of them. So we did that, but we are going to pack it actually in a box, just because people really don't want to have these coming in all bent up. So the weekend is over. It is Monday. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend. Mine went pretty well, honestly. Sales were actually up last week. All through the week, we were up about 15-20%, and then they averaged out. This weekend, it dropped back down to the usual. I'm not going to complain. Obviously, we had about $2,000 in sales total, so very thankful for that over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But was hoping to see that trend continue through the weekend, and it did not. So but like I said, we're still even. We're still doing our average, which is great. I can't really complain about that. But it was nice to see a little bit of an increase as well. First order goes out to Janet. Let's see if we can find Janet in our wall of labels over here. Never know where they're going to start out at because of the way they print, but let's see where she is at. Of course, it's going to be one of the last ones I check. Where is there? Yep, see, last one. All right, going out to Herbert, Arizona, actually. So that should get there pretty quick. All right, let's see what happened on eBay over there. Honestly, a pretty quiet weekend on eBay. Not a ton going on. We had, I want to say, only one return request, and that was actually somebody saying I sent them the wrong size, which is interesting because I believe I shipped it, so I should go back and try to find it on the last episode. I'm 95% sure I didn't send them the wrong size, so I asked them for some photos of the item. It was one of those Gymshark tank tops, and it was a 2XL. I remember specifically pulling 2XL because I don't sell them very often, and they're claiming I only sent them an extra large. So I asked for photos just of the item. That way I can verify that they're not trying to pull something on them or on me, and they haven't responded. So maybe they were. I don't know. We'll find out later on today, probably if they ever do send them out. But I was a little worried that they were actually trying something because, again, I can't say 100%, but I'm 95% sure I shipped the right item to them. I don't normally mix up too bad on them, and especially that one, like I said, it was an extra or a 2XL, which again I don't sell very often, so I double checked to make sure I grabbed the right one. So we'll see what happens with that. If they do send it back, it's not really that big of a deal. I'll be out shipping, but at the end of the day, I'd rather that come back than a pair of shoes, so we will take it. But yeah, other than that, I don't really feel like we had much else go on eBay. Amazon was quiet. No real return request over there, which is nice. No feedback as far as negative feedbacks or anything, customer issues or anything. So that's been really good. Worked on getting a lot of listings up, trying to get all that Kohl stuff listed. I got a ton of those. Still waiting for my shoes that I shipped from Arizona when I was on vacation to get here. They're taking forever. Literally, that's something interesting, and we've been talking about it a little bit in our group, is shipping priority mail versus USPS Ground Advantage. And honestly, these Ground Advantage or the priority mail that I've been shipping myself recently have been taking longer than like most items. Now they are bigger boxes, obviously, so that could be some of it. but really kind of surprised me that it's taking so long to get them here. Like I said, I drove it in 8 hours, so we're not that far away, and it's taken over 5 days now to get it. Hopefully they come today. I'm starting to get a little bit worried about that order. Or those 2 boxes that I got coming in. Those are just Kohl's clearance shoes that we purchased while on vacation. Next up on the order list, we do have these New Balance Trails. We picked these up a couple Kohl's events ago. They sold really fast, almost all of them. I only had like 2 or 3 pair left, and for some reason it took forever. But they did sell size 13s. We paid looks like 23 bucks for them after tax, and sold them for $59.99. I actually, these are a size, what did I say, size 13? Yeah, size 13. What's funny is all the shoes except for like 1 pair of the Skechers. Well, I guess all the main shoes, not necessarily the slides and stuff, but we sold like 4 pair of size 13s this weekend, which is kind of funny. Every time I went to go pull an order, it was another size 13, so must be a popular size for me. I wish I could go back and check and see what my most popular sizes are, but it would be pretty interesting. We are reusing these Academy boxes. I got a bunch of them, so I didn't feel like throwing them. They are nice boxes. They're perfect for shoes. And we're just going to peel this label off of it. But they're pretty decent. These ones came in pretty decent condition, so we're just going to reuse them. No sense in wasting the box, even though I don't like sending items that are branded. But if it's eBay, we'll go ahead and do it. I'm not too picky on eBay. A lot of people are used to that. All right, that's going out to Victoria. And Victoria is in Tempe, Arizona. Lots of Arizona orders already going out today. All right. But yeah, that was basically my weekend. How about you guys? Did you guys have anything interesting happen over your weekend? Let me know. I'd like to hear about it. Like I said, I'd actually rather have a quiet weekend on eBay than have a bunch of people contacting me. Makes for more enjoyable. Did get out and do some paddleboarding with my wife this weekend also. That was a lot of fun. A lot of work though. You have to pump those up manually, and we decided that we were going to buy one of the air pumps for them because even though they're kind of expensive, we spent like 45 minutes just getting these things pumped up and to like 15 psi, and it was just not worth it. I was exhausted, didn't even really want to go out after that. It's a lot of workout, arm workout. You guys see, I'm not exactly the most buff guy in the group, and it took a toll on me, that's for sure. I have paddle. I heard paddleboarding is fun. Yeah, Pete, you should come out sometime. I think I've invited you before. Oh, Pete's a buddy of mine. We like to give each other a hard time. Next up, we've got the Adidas Alliance backpack here. We've sold, I think I've shipped every single one of these out on the stream. What's up, Andrew? Oh, you were in here already. Let's see. Past 2 weeks have been busy. eBay, the normal, which has been nice. Awesome. Yeah, I've been hearing that from a lot of people. I shouldn't say mine's been busy. Again, it's back up to where it was, that about the 10 to 15 items a day selling, which is really nice. I'm really grateful for it. But I've seen a bunch of people saying that theirs is even higher. So I have not been really doing the best at getting some of my stuff worked on. For instance, I was working on getting some items delisted and relisted, and I haven't been able to do that this week. Last week was a short week. Obviously, I got back on Wednesday, or back to work on Wednesday, and so I had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I literally had so much inventory in my kitchen and living room and everything else that I just had to focus on processing it, getting it sorted, getting it stored. And then we worked on listing on Friday and some on Sunday as well. So it was a lot of work, and I haven't been able to get back to that. So I think once I get back to delisting, relisting, getting some more pricing adjusted and stuff like that, we'll see a better increase. Now, I did put some items on sale just to try to kind of hold off or hold over until I could get those items recomped and readjusted to market pricing, but I have not had a chance to really see. I'll look when we go through here, but I don't feel like any of those are really sold. I was just doing like 5 to 10% off on the sales. eBay does have the nice thing now where you can, as you're looking through your listings, there's an option where you go to like edit or end listing or anything like that in that drop down menu. There's an option to add it to a sale or promo now, which is super nice because I got really tired of going through and setting up a sale, setting a discount, and then searching through all my items and selecting which ones I want to do. That's fine for different areas. And for instance, when I do a hat sale or something like that, that works a lot better. But it's really nice now that when you're scrolling through, you see an item, hey, I should add that to that 5% off sale. You can literally click the button, edit sale offer, and then add to the listing, and it's super fast, and you can do it by individual listing. So that's made it really nice, and I've been working with that some to try to get it. Man, the sticker, I hate Marshall stickers. They take forever to get off. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. So we've been doing that, but like I said, I haven't been able to just get back into that. I haven't been able to work on my website yet, or as much for the hats and stuff that we talked about a few episodes ago. So just trying to get back caught up because I just have so much inventory coming in, and we've got more inventory coming in this week. We worked out a big deal, another bulk deal from the most previous seller that we talked about that we'll be doing the video on eventually. We got worked out a whole nother deal with them. So we got a whole bunch more hat inventory coming in, which is great. I love hats. I love listing them, but just feeling a little overwhelmed this week. If you follow me over on Instagram, I think I posted about it over there and stuff. Just, it's just one of those weeks. As a reseller, sometimes you just get overwhelmed, and you just have to, make sure to not overdo it, make sure not to overstress too much, and just keep focused, and you'll get there. But like I said, it's hard to do sometimes. So I get it. And like I said, that was this week, but we're back on it this week. I'm really excited to just really stay focused and get some listings done, and get some edits and all that stuff done. That way we can get back on track. With all that being said, the Adidas bag sold for $20. We picked it up for $3 on that Marshall's clearance sale back last year. I don't know why these took off. I don't know if my price got to the lowest or something. They had tanked really bad after that sale. I think there was a bunch of them out there. And so I just priced it at the minimum that I wanted to get from them and let them sit. I didn't mind storing them. I knew I could move them. It's going out to Hawaii. That's pretty cool. But I just let it sit, and they all sold within the past 2 weeks. So evidently my price just hit the bottom somehow. All right, we'll put that in there. Next up on the list, one thing I want to talk about real quick just before we get into the main topic. And I don't remember if we've covered this, so if I have, tell me. I'll quit repeating myself, but I don't think I have. Talking about pricing and going through, and when you're pricing a new item, say for instance you're listing this hat or this item here, do you guys go in and just look at obviously you want to get the best price that you can for it. You don't have to go to the lowest, but for me, I always tend to take the top. And when I sort low to high, I take the top 5 to 10 listings, depending on how many listings are out there. Take the top 5 to 10 off and just ignore them and go to the price that's about halfway down the thing. That's really bad, and I need to work on it because I'm sure it's costing me some quick flips. And when I say quick flips, I'm not saying you have to just price low, just to throw it out. But I think what's happening is I'm trying to get too much out of my items. I'm thinking, oh, I think I know that'll sell for this price, which is fine. And if you do understand and know that, but every item, I tend to never go close to the lowest price. I'm always a few bucks above. If there's a ton of listings, or if there's not very many listings of that, then I'll go, $5, $10 above. And I think it's hurting me. I think I should be pricing competitively from the very beginning, getting that money flipped. And I think that's why I'm sitting on so much inventory, especially in shoes, and a couple other categories. I've just got mountains of inventory. And it's biting me because right now, I've got an opportunity to pick up some fixtures that sell really well, and it's great, but they take up a lot of space and they have a really good high sell-through rate. Everything, I should be buying, but I don't have the space right now. And I'm missing out on some stuff that I probably could be moving a lot faster than some of the other stuff. So that's something I'm working on. I don't know how you guys feel, but I always feel like I just price myself out too much on some items, and it's hurting me in the long run. I feel like this is a really cool hat going out. This is a Pittsburgh Pirates, I believe, all maroon, got the old logo on it, really cool side patch, and the tan undervisor. I don't know why I like this maroon and tan color combo. Sold for $54.99 and going out to Joey in Myrtle Beach. Let's see, Andrew said, heard somebody else say it, and now I feel that I bought too much, and now I have to go through the punishment of listing the pile now. The punishment. I like that. Yeah. I don't have that. A lot of people talk about, oh, my death pile is so big and stuff like that. I don't mind having a large death pile. The problem with my death pile right now is it's literally filling my house. And that's more of it than anything. I don't mind having stuff to list. I don't mind having, for instance, I've got 500 hats right now sitting that I need to list. Not that many listings, but the quantity wise. And I've got probably another 500 to 1,000 coming in. So I know I have that, and it's annoying. Oh, I need to get that listed, but I don't push myself. I don't know. I'm not like that. I guess I don't mind those sitting there. I know, hey, I've got stuff to list. I got stuff that I can continue to work on, because I did up until this past couple of weeks. I would list everything that came in that day or whatever that I had, and then I'd work on doing some delisting and some stuff like that just to fill in the time. Not saying I didn't have anything else to work on. Obviously, I was trying to work on the website and all kinds of things, but to keep eBay happy with what you call it, activity and stuff. I felt like I was trying to find things to do on eBay to keep that activity going. So I don't mind having a death pile, but I don't like the death pile literally taking over my entire living space, and that's the issue with the shoes right now. Andrew also said, I feel that way with shoes. For whatever reason, I want to push them higher to profit. Yeah, and again, I know, for instance, a lot of the shoes that we bought from these Kohl's clearance events, all of us bought them. Okay, it was a huge amount of them out there. I know they're gonna tank, so I don't want to just go in there and price the lowest and just sell, because I know they will come wintertime, they will sell higher. There's a fine line between pricing competitively to get the profit that you want and just overpricing and not making that flip on it and getting your money back so you can invest in things. If you're making money on it, not saying you drop to the lowest, but if you're making a decent margin on it, you don't have to try to get that extra $5. It would be better to sell it and make your 20 bucks and turn that money back into some more inventory. It's called turn. It used to be a thing with Hobby Lobby when I was working for them that they were really focusing on. They would drop prices on higher selling items, or volume selling items, or stuff that wasn't selling as high. Sorry. They would drop the price on it to try to turn more of those items. That way they could make their profit on selling multiples of them instead of just making the $5 or more on the single item. So it's all part of the process. And again, I just feel like I always price way too high. And I know I do, because I've got stuff that like should have sold already and it hasn't. And then I go back and look and I'm like, well, I'm $10 over market and I've had it for 5 years, it should have sold. So definitely something I need to work on. And I've been trying to work on, even with doing these listings, not thinking that my item is going to sell better than somebody else's. If there's already a good listing out there, and the market's at that price, why do I think I'm going to get $10 more than market? I don't know. It's just me. But that's how I think. And yeah, I think that's why I'm sitting on so many shoes. So we're going to work on that. Next up, we've got this St. Louis Cardinals. This is that same hunter green hat that we sell all the time, just different teams. This one is, I think, the first Cardinals one I've sold. So glad to see those are starting to move. $44.99 is what we sold this one for. And I think we paid we're averaging these at $12, $13 just to make it even. And like I said, not give away too many of my secrets. Pete loves my secrets. I talk about them all the time. Shelby said, what rate of return do you shoot for on eBay? Or I think it said on eBay, for eBay. So rate of return, I believe, I never get the percentage right. I want to double my money. If I spend $30 on the item, I want to make $30 after fees and stuff like that. That's the goal for me. So I guess that's 100% return on your return on investment. So I want to make the same amount that I spend. So that's my goal, I guess you could say. There are items I will buy if they have a higher sell-through rate, and I know that will sell faster. I'll make less on. For instance, these particular hats, we purchased from an Academy sale, and we paid like $11 for them, which is a little bit high. I mean, honestly, for hats, I don't normally buy branded that are that high, but I knew they would sell fast, so they're selling like crazy on Amazon. I'm only making, I think, $7 on those, $7 or $8 on those, and I'm buying them for $12. So that's not quite my 50% margin that I was talking about, or the double money margin. But I do it because I know they'll sell fast and I can get that return quick. But like I said, goal almost always is to at least make or double my money back, or double my money, I guess is what I should say, on an item for me to buy for eBay. All right, going out to Matt. Man, we're moving right along through these. So we're going to get into it, guys. The whole eBay or the whole Amazon selling. Let me know in the comments if you guys sell on Amazon and if you sell FBA or FBM. I'm mostly going to refer to FBM, which is, if you're not familiar with it, is fulfilled by merchant. That means basically you ship it just like you would an eBay item. And we'll get into some of those orders here in a minute. Actually, we could do a couple of those now, so while we're talking about it. So fulfilled by merchant means that whatever item you list, you're going to ship and sell yourself, or you're going to sell it on Amazon, but you're going to ship and handle everything yourself. FBA is fulfilled by Amazon, and that's when you send your items into Amazon and then they handle everything. So you set your price and then you ship all your stuff into Amazon. They handle the shipping and customer service and everything to the actual buyer. So those are the two differences. Mostly, like I said, I'm going to be discussing just FBA or FBM, excuse me, fulfilled by merchant, just because it's easier for me. I don't want to get into all the details of the FBA stuff, as I feel like a lot of people are getting out of that. We've talked about that in the past, so if you are interested in that, there are a couple of videos. I think I titled them something about Amazon that, and if you can't find them, let me know. I'll find them for you. But we do have a couple videos that we talked about that in the series. So, like I said, this still applies to FBA. I'm just going to refer to most of it as FBM. Shelby said, I ship both FBA and FBM. Josh said, I just bought 10 pairs of Crocs with the hopes of getting ungated in it, but I know, but I keep getting rejected. Where did you buy them from, Josh? I think we've talked about this in the group. I think you're over there. But where did you order those from to get your invoice? So let me double check here, make sure I got my notes and where I talk about. So obviously the title of the episode is Reselling on Amazon Dead. That is not just a clickbait title, okay? Because I do feel like it's dying. I don't know if it'll ever just completely die out for resellers. But yeah, Josh, I was pretty sure you were. I can't remember if I seen you post about that or not. But yeah, as far as getting the rejected, you just have to keep resubmitting. If your invoice is correct, if it has everything that they're requesting, you just have to keep resubmitting it. And I wouldn't respond to the closed case. I would just reopen a new one. I'm sure Adam and them have told you or have mentioned it to you if you've asked over there. But that's where, unfortunately, it's just kind of how you have to do it. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe, I don't remember. I don't know if I've seen yours or not. But yeah, if you've got everything on it, like if it's from Crocs or if it's from Kohl's or whatever, like those invoices normally do work. Honestly, probably the easiest way for me to get ungated was to do it Amazon to Amazon. But again, you can ask over in the group if you haven't already, and they'll give you some advice on that. Better than even I can, because like I said, I've been ungated for a while and I haven't had to re-go through all the process since some of these new things that we're going to talk about have been put in place. But like I said, Amazon, as far as it being dead for resellers, I don't want to say it's dead. I don't think it's not going to be an option, but they are making it extremely, extremely difficult. If you're doing FBA, they've added fees and stuff like that. Those fees aren't as scary as everybody makes them out to be. I've actually looked into that a little bit. I don't have all the facts in front of me to be able to just say for sure, 100% this is the answer. But the fees, they only apply after so long and stuff like that, but they are there, and they are trying to reduce their amount of inventory space, basically. I mean, if you look at how long Amazon's been open, they have thousands, not thousands maybe, but they got hundreds of warehouses. But they've been open for a while. They've got inventory that's just sitting there. Even if they're charging fees, people half the time, if they're not real, lack of an easier or nicer way to say this, competent in what they're doing, they don't know that they're getting charged those storage fees and stuff like that, or they may not care. I don't know. But they have to have thousands of items in their warehouse that are just sitting there, and they can't keep doing that. They can't offer, a free storage solution or a cheap storage solution for these people's inventory if they're not moving. So I understand why they're charging the low inventory fees and stuff like that. Again, I have a very business related background as far as from retail locations and stuff like that, and all of that stuff comes into play. Storage is one of the biggest things that costs so much. It's why companies hate overstock. That's why they liquidate. That's why they do it. Is all storage based. It's one of the biggest things with retail, especially, is inventory space that you're storing it, and the cost of that storage and all that. It's a big thing. So I understand where Amazon's coming from. So, and I get called, I'm sympathizing with Amazon for all these fees and stuff, but I get what they're trying to do. And to be honest, from their standpoint, they're dealing with giants, okay? They're dealing with $1 million corporations. They're dealing with $1 million companies that are selling their product on Amazon directly, Nike or whoever, selling product directly to Amazon. You've got companies that only sell on Amazon, but there are giant companies. I'm trying to think of what they are right now. I can't think of an example, but you have all these different conglomerates, whereas eBay is not necessarily set up for that. They're more for the individual seller. They always have been. Amazon's catering to that. So we've discussed all this. I don't want to repeat everything, that we've talked about before, but it's something to consider that, that's why the fees are there. So I understand their point, but it is making it very hard for small resellers like myself and, some of the others. Yeah, we like to think we have big operations, but in the scope of things, we're nothing compared to what they're dealing with and who they're having to cater to. So I understand where they're coming from in that. Let's just put it that way. So is it dead? It's dying. I feel like it's a lot less lucrative, and I feel like it's a lot more hassle for those of us that, do this part-time or do this as a, full-time job, but, aren't giant, contenders in it. There's just not that much room for us there left. Now, and I feel like that's FBA. Now, FBM, there's still a lot of opportunities, but they are knocking it down. And this is due to, I think, a whole nother set of things. So everybody likes to think, okay, they're just trying to run the small resellers out. I think FBA, they are, okay? I think that's their goal, is to focus their inventory and their space on these larger companies and these larger groups versus us small-time resellers. FBM, on the other hand, they've instigated a whole bunch of new like ungating procedures and stuff like that, and they're cracking down there. Personally, I don't feel like this is them trying to run the small resellers out necessarily as far as from a brand standpoint, but I do feel like it's going to be even worse in the future if the economy keeps going the way it is and stuff like that, because companies are trying to minimize their competition. Okay, I'm talking with one of the biggest updates recently was the Nike gate. So basically they they did go through and regate some people. I haven't heard too many people have that issue. A lot of sellers that haven't been selling for a while, I've seen that say, oh, I can't sell Nike now. I've not been regated or anything like that, so I don't feel like it's been like that Adidas jump that we seen a couple months ago where they gated everybody in Adidas and then ungated a whole bunch of people. It's been a little bit different. But Nike is now restricted on a lot of new accounts. So basically you can't even apply to ungate on there. If you've had an account for a little bit longer, it looks like they might still allow you to apply to get ungated, but there's a whole new process. I actually seen somebody in the group that got an email asking to set up an interview. So they submitted their stuff to get ungated, and they want to interview that person before they'll approve it. There's a lot of new restrictions. Now, that's not eBay. Amazon. I don't feel like that's just Amazon. I think that's Nike. I think that's Nike trying to compete against other sellers on their product to make sure that their brand and their value stays high. Something else that somebody posted, not in the group, but I've seen on Facebook, is that Nike went through and kind of IP complained or whatever about listings that people had created that they hadn't created themselves. So I highly, if you are on Amazon, I highly discourage you from ever creating your own listing unless you own the brand, okay? Because that's one of the quickest ways to get booted off. Yes, it seems when you're used to doing eBay and you just, you can create a listing for whatever you want, you go to Amazon and think you can do that, and you can get in major trouble for that. Some brands don't care, some don't monitor it, but a lot of people got hit with some IPs and stuff like that on listings they created for Nike's product. And that's rough. I mean, that's going to, like I said, that doesn't take hardly any time for that to, for that to kick you out of the account. If you've had an established account, you might get a warning or two. If you have a new account, it's almost an instant. Next up, before we continue with this, because I'm already slowing down on my orders. We have 4 of those VO5 shampoos that are going out. We sell these all the time, but we did sell 4 of them to the same buyer for $36.92, and we paid $4 or $2, excuse me, for that total. I'm actually about out of that, so I'm really happy. Let's see. That's going out to Nicole in Deer Park. Let's see if I can find that real quick. So, like I said, they've gone through and done a bunch of stuff with those. So they pulled all those unauthorized listings basically. And again, a lot of people are saying, oh, they're just trying to run it out. But this is Nike cracking down on their competition to make sure that their brand stays the same. If they have a bunch of people selling their brand at a lot less and it's not an author, they didn't create the listing or whatever, they are losing money kind of to that person that's selling it. Again, we purchased it from them somehow, so you can't, a lot of people say, oh, they got their money, whatever, but they can do that. That's what Amazon's set up for. They allow the brands to control what's sold of their product on their marketplace. So you have to be ready for that. And I think we're going to see that a lot. I think that's kind of where, Adidas might do it. Some of these other big companies, they're hurting for money. So I don't, they may not necessarily be losing money right now, but they're not making as much as they are. All companies are doing this right now. They're finding ways to cut back however they can. And one of the easiest ways for Nike, probably, especially with AI now, how AI is being able to help find these items and do searches and automatically do it. They're using AI on eBay now for feedback removal and stuff like that. I mean, there's all kinds of new processes where they don't have to have somebody sitting at a computer scrolling through listings, marking this one to remove, this one to remove, this one to remove. They can all do it now with AI and all these technologies. So it's going to get worse in a lot of regards when it comes to that. That's why, again, I always highly recommend never sell unless you're selling on your list, an authorized listing that Nike made or whoever. Don't go creating your own for sure, because you'll get in trouble for that. But that's where we're kind of at with, I feel like, with some of these brands, and I think it's only going to get worse as time goes. Now, that's not a bad thing necessarily, especially for, if you're not creating those things. That helps you out. It gets rid of some of those unauthorized listings. People only shop the ones that, are legit. And then if you're selling on that listing, you're great. But if you're a new seller, you're not going to be able to get into Nike very easily. You're going to have to go through a really strenuous, it looks like, process to get ungated in them. I've also seen where they are requiring, not necessarily Nike specific, but Amazon ungates are requiring more than 10 items on certain things to get ungated from certain manufacturers. They're really starting to crack down on that. And again, I feel like that is just these companies. I don't feel like Amazon's making that rule. I think these companies are kind of, Amazon's allowing these companies to put those things. This is all speculation. This is all my opinion, guys. So don't, this is not gospel fact, but it's something that I feel like people are kind of misunderstanding in this whole aspect of it. It's not just Amazon coming after you. Okay. It's going to be something more than that. Now you may say, okay, what are all companies going to do this? I feel like larger companies are going to hit Amazon, but what I'm a little worried about, and what I shouldn't say worried, but I'm more concerned about and kind of keeping an eye on, is the smaller companies using eBay and trying to come through. So eBay allows Veros, just like Amazon does with IP complaints. It's not a new process. This has been kind of the setup for a long time. They can come through and complain that you're using your photos or whatever. And you get the item taken down. eBay is really nice because they give you like a 3-4 strike system before they start hurting you as far as your account. So it's nice to, you don't have to worry about your account getting locked and shut down immediately. But I feel like we're going to see that from some smaller brands. Next up, we have this Columbia hat we bought from one of my suppliers for like $3 and sold it for $27.99 over on Amazon FBM. And we're going to ship that out. So like I said, what I'm a little worried about is possibly eBay starting to allow buyers to do that, which they already can, or excuse me, sellers already are doing that. Not sellers, products, brands. There we go, brands, to do those Veros and stuff. I feel like what you're going to see is Amazon is the main market where Nike and Adidas and any name brand, okay, I'm just using those because that's what I sell, but any name brand is going to start going and trying to crack down is going to be Amazon, because the market share is there. That's where giant volumes of orders are going through Amazon for their products. What's going to happen though, I think, is you're going to find that smaller brands that only sell a couple of items, or more specific to a particular category or whatever it is, I think you might see them start going after some of the sellers on eBay, because that's where their competition is. They may not have competition on Amazon because they don't sell, or it's not a listing already on there, but they're going to be going up against eBay because that's going to be the marketplace that's competing with them. So again, I'm not doom and gloom. I'm not saying, be scared this is going to happen, but I could see it happening. Just like Nike's trying to figure out a way to cut back and get some of their, their revenue back from, unauthorized listings, whatever. I feel like you might see some smaller brands start doing that on eBay and could be a small issue going forward. We'll see. I could be completely wrong on that. I haven't really heard of anything like that yet. I did see what brand? Oh, IKEA went through and did some Veros on Amazon or on eBay, excuse me. So that was kind of interesting to see. Which they don't normally. I mean, again, for photos. And the thing with what people misunderstand is just because you get a IP or a Vero complaint for a particular reason doesn't mean that's what it is. Unauthenticated or unauthentic product or counterfeit product is the most common excuse that any company can use. And basically it's a guilty until proven innocent kind of thing. And there's not really a way to prove your innocence either. It's really annoying, and it's bad business in my opinion. I think these companies shouldn't be allowed to just literally lie, and say, oh, that's counterfeit, just because we don't have a receipt that shows you bought it saying that it's counterfeit. That's not right, but they are doing it, and that's just a generic excuse, and basically you're kind of in trouble if you don't address it, with them. So just because you get it doesn't mean that they know it's counterfeit. I seen somebody post the other day on something that got pulled from eBay for, again, saying that it was a counterfeit item. eBay pulled the listing, or whoever pulled the listing because of the Vero complaint. And they're like, I don't know how this company knew it was fake. They didn't know it was fake. And they're just using that as a blanket excuse, and it's bad business. It's, I can't support that at all. I think it's ridiculous that they're allowed to do that. But at the end of the day, you just have to address it and continue and work your way around it. Either don't sell that particular brand or that particular item again, or find a different way to market it. If they told you it's for the photos, then make sure to use a generic, or not use a generic photo, but actually take your own photos. There's ways around it on eBay. Amazon, you're pretty much just out of luck. You just have to kind of not sell that item. Is it fair? No, it's not fair. But at the end of the day, it's how the business goes. Life isn't fair, as they say. And unfortunately, that's the case over on Amazon as well. Next up, we have this Under Armour adjustable back. I peeled the price off. Retail is $28, but we're selling them for $31 on Amazon right now. These are the buy from the Academy sale that we called out over in Bread and Butter, and picked those up. I think I paid $11.50 for those. No, $10.77. So almost $11. And like I said, we're selling them for $30. So that's kind of the going, and they're selling fast. I'm selling a couple of them a day. So really nice selling item. I kind of wish I would have bought more, of course, but it is what it is. Going out to Kristen. I think that's, I don't know, there she is, in Batesville. Wait, let's double check that, make sure that's right. All right. Anybody have any, what's it called? Any comments as far as that goes? So for what we've covered so far, let me know. It looks like Joseph, what's up? Amazon got me for $3,000 worth of product with that same method. Wow. So did they still allow you to remove it, or they just took it, basically claiming it was counterfeit or whatever, and then did that? And again, that's why it's really tough, and why I'm not going to say, if you're already doing it, I'm not saying not to, but if you're just getting into reselling, or you're thinking about doing Amazon, I would highly suggest doing FBM instead of FBA. I would not mess with FBA right now until they get it. Nope, took it. Yeah, I've heard of them doing that, man. I hate to hear that happened to you. That sucks. It happens a lot, and honestly, when you go to bin stores and you find a lot of one particular brand in their bins, and it's good, it's brand new product, that's what happened, is they just IP complained it, and Amazon has a process. They can't review every single one, unfortunately. I'm not giving them an excuse on that one, honestly, because if for some reason you should be allowed to remove it. If it is truly counterfeit product, you should be allowed to remove it so you can process it and deal with it, with your supplier or whatever. The fact that they don't allow any recourse for that is really messed up. And I don't condone it, but that's why I feel like people that get into Amazon have to understand that it's a possibility. It can happen to you. And is it right? No, but what are you going to do? Besides going and taking Amazon to court, which, a lot of people try, but it's going to cost you a lot more money, in the end. And unfortunately, that's how the court systems work. That's how, as I love America, but unfortunately with the justice system, it's pretty much set up that way. There are people that can take advantage of you, If they have the money and know that you don't, you're pretty much screwed in those aspects. And unfortunately, that's the same way with Amazon. And that's why I would, is Amazon dead for resellers? No, but is it as lucrative and as I don't want to say good, but is it as recommended anymore? Absolutely not. FBM, the biggest thing you have to worry about with FBM is just, scams, people saying that they didn't get an item or something like that. And let's be honest, you have to deal with that on eBay too. It may not be as frequent, maybe. Honestly, I feel like it's about the same. It's just the fact that you sell a lot more volume over on Amazon. It is what it is. Now, as far as returns go and stuff like that, I'm not even considering that. That's neither here nor there. That's part of the process. It's just like if you turn free returns on eBay, you're going to get, I feel like, just as many percentage-wise returns on there as you do Amazon. But like I said, with FBM, at least the only issue that you really have to worry about is somebody trying to get the product from you, saying it didn't arrive or something like that. You don't have to worry about losing your product or losing, Amazon losing the product for you when they receive it and stuff like that. It's a lot less risk. Maybe not quite as high a sell-through on certain items, but honestly, guys, I found FBM right now is just, I was selling just as much with FBM as I was FBA. I don't know how much of that Prime thing, if you can get the buy box, I don't feel like that Prime is hurting you to not have it on your thing as much. Again, my opinion. Nothing necessarily fact-based on that. Next up, we've got this Nike Aerobuild True Retro Golf Hat. These are really cool. Purchased them for 13, only selling them for 30. So really not making much, maybe $5 on this one after shipping and fees, maybe a little bit more. But these are really cool hats. I don't necessarily wear flat bills very often, but I thought that was pretty cool. And it's going out to Haley in El Paso. Hey, that's just down the road from me. Could have hand delivered that. All right. So let's go with that one. That's, what did I just say? Haley? Yep, Haley right up there. And we'll get that one shipped out. So all that said, all that negative about Amazon has not stopped her from selling over there, okay? It's still going to be something that isn't, I don't put as many products over there. Again, that's not necessarily due to these changes. Just the fact of how my business model's been going. And obviously I do a lot more shoes now and hats. Shoes have a really high return rate. I just don't like dealing with it because of the cost of shipping and how much Amazon charges for the shipping return labels. If I could buy my own return labels and get them for $12 or whatever, the average return cost or the average label cost, that'd be fine. But eBay or Amazon likes to charge a lot higher for their return labels, which really sucks. Because it just screws you. And like I've had shoes come back that charge me $18, $19 for a return label, and I don't want to deal with this. So I don't sell shoes over there that much. Hats, a lot of the hats that I get are sports hats. For instance, these ones here, there may not be a listing on Amazon, and I'm not going to create a new one because we already talked about that. Or NFL, you can't sell on Amazon. Some of these do sell, and actually this particular one here did sell because there was a listing. So we do sell some hats over there, but the majority of my hats don't have listings, so I can't sell them over there. So I don't sell as much just because of how my business, kind of what my product that I carry has turned into. And that's why we've kind of, I don't want to say slacked off, but we aren't doing as much on Amazon as we have in the past. I don't think there's an issue not to sell them there. I think you should still utilize it just like you use Mercari or any of these others. You just have to understand there are a few extra risks just because of how Amazon does business. Let's see here. Let me see. Some of the other brands that I kind of skipped over on accident that we didn't talk about, but Oakley is now gated or actually restricted. You can't sell Oakley on Amazon, and I haven't even seen any way of getting that brand back unless you have some like an authorized, whatever it's called. Let's see. Someone's calling me on Facebook or on Discord. Sorry, buddy. I don't know if you're in here or not, but I can't necessarily answer that right this minute. I'll get back with you though. But yeah, so there's these different things as far as brands that are going to be restricted now. Like I said, Oakley's one of them. There was another one. I think Lululemon like restricted, and then they've been really going after people. All kinds of different stuff going on with the Amazon brand. So it's just getting, harder and harder to sell over there. But some of the other things, like I said, the new ungating requirements. I'm trying to remember if I covered everything on that. That interview, that just blows my mind that they're actually having to like interview you now on certain ungates, and that's a little bit scary because you never know what they're going to ask you at that point. And then if it's Amazon interviewing you, you know how finicky they are about wanting to kick people off. So it's not, if you have to respond on the fly and you give the wrong answer, then you're kind of in trouble. So that's a little bit scary. I haven't had to deal with that yet, but we'll see how that continues on in the future. Picked up this one for 10 or 12 bucks. This New Era 3930 Atlanta Braves. It's cool. It's got like the shadow logo. I thought that was really cool, actually. Sold this one. It's large, extra large. Sold it for $39.99, actually, which is a pretty good price for that. And like I said, we paid, I think, $10 or $11 for that. And that was actually at a hat store. Just happened to see it was on clearance. All right, going out to Maybe in California. Let's see what else. I feel like I ran through that whole topic very fast, guys, and now I'm not sure what we're going to talk about. We did talk about how, possibly seeing some smaller brands go after you on eBay or whatever. Again, I wouldn't really worry about that till it happens. That's just speculation on my part, but I could see it. I know there's like Bonanza and a couple other companies, which nobody sells on Bonanza, but like I've been seeing some sellers that do have listings over there. Like they got a whole bunch of their account banned and stuff because of some unauthentic New Era hats and just all kinds of stuff like this. And it's starting to scare people within rights, but again, these smaller platforms, I can kind of see some brands going after more than necessarily Amazon. I think Amazon, you're just going to see the larger brands have issues because, again, that's where their market share is. Let's see. One thing too I wanted to talk about that I see a lot of people post, not just in like a group, but like on Facebook pages and stuff like that. Don't be afraid to sell stuff. There's a bunch of people that post that, hey, oh, can I list this? I'm worried about it, being borrowed, or I'm worried about there being, unauthentic or something like that. Don't be afraid to sell. If you've not had an issue with it and there's not just a bunch of people, that have said they have an issue, list it, okay? If you're worried about Veros on eBay, then make sure to take your own photos, okay? That's one of the biggest things that they can get you on is using their stock photos. Most companies don't care, but there are some that do. So, if you're really worried about that particular brand or you have questions or concerns with that, don't use stock photos. Use a different photo, take your own photos. That's going to get rid of anything except for unauthentic claims, okay? And again, most brands aren't going to just claim something's unauthentic. There are a few out there that do, and it's crummy dealings in my opinion, like we've stated. But other than that, there's really nothing else they can make the claim on. So don't be afraid to list it. Try it. And on eBay, like I said, you get like a 3-strike policy. I think you can get 2 or 3 Veros for one particular brand or one particular item before they start hitting your account with suspensions. You can once you have like 2 warnings, I think, or 3 warnings, you get a 3-day suspension, 7-day suspension, 14-day suspension, so on and so forth. I've actually been through a few of those back when we first started doing this, and it was rough. Let's see. Shelby said, "Hey Delco, do you do more?" I can't. My comment thing I can't see. I think you're saying OA or RA. Retail arbitrage or online arbitrage. Right now, it's been online. The only retail I've been doing, I hit some Burlingtons, and then I do the Kohl's clearance event. But I have not been doing RA hardly at all. It's been mostly OA. I've been trying to cut down, believe it or not, I've been trying to cut down on sourcing. That was working great up until this last 2 weeks. And then we had the Kohl's sale hit, and then I walked into a couple of bulk deals. And then I had just literally that week decided that I was going to go ahead and buy a couple of, what's it called? A couple of online callouts that we found on like bread and butter and stuff. Some Hey Dudes and some Crocs. Actually, some of these Crocs right here. These are the Luke Combs Crocs that we shipped before. I ended up spending a whole bunch. And like I was doing so good on not buying inventory because I'm trying, believe it or not, I'm trying to downsize my inventory to, get ready for this move. With that being said, I can't pass up a good deal, and that's my downfall. So we did end up, I don't know if these are going to actually fit in this bag or not, but we're going to try it. But yes, recently I have been doing a lot more online arbitrage than retail, just because I haven't needed to go in store, basically. And when I do actually go into stores and buy, I can only buy one or two of an item. So I'm only going to get, one or two of that particular item. Whereas if I'm ordering online, for instance, like these Crocs, I can order 20 of these Crocs if I want to. So it makes it a lot easier, less listings, and I have that inventory continue to sell. But yeah, I am doing a lot more OA. I also have the capital for that and stuff like that. Well, did. So that's why. But honestly, retail is where, especially if you're starting or whatever. And like I don't know how long you've been doing this, Shelby. I haven't talked to you that much. So I'm not telling you what to do on this, okay? But I personally, if you're just getting started, whatever, I would recommend only doing RA because you can learn your products, learn your brands, and if you do make a bad buy or you buy something that doesn't have a great sell through or whatever, you only have one or two sitting at home instead of 10 or 20. I'm literally moving some of the Allbirds, which we're going to ship here in just a second. I was one of my first online arbitrage buys, and I bought, I think, 20 pair of size 7s and 20 pair of size 8s. They were a really good deal, but still, I've been sitting on them for almost 2 years now, or a little over 2 years, and just can't get rid of them. They're starting to sell slower now that I've got them priced correctly, but I recommend starting with online or retail arbitrage all day long before you get into OA, just so you can get an idea of brands. But right now, I'm doing mostly online. Next up, we have this hat here. This is actually a 940. I think these are the A-frames. Detroit, really cool hat. I bought it for $10 on clearance. Literally got home and realized the button was missing off the top. So that's probably why it was on clearance. Listed it anyways, said it had a defect and everything. Posted it in the description, the title, all that good stuff. And sold it for 35 bucks still. So don't pass this up on those damaged hats. Apparently, and again, if you're not really looking at it, you wouldn't even notice it. And I'm actually going to cut this little tiny string off here, be even less noticeable. But like I said, I posted it in the description, the title, everything, and someone still paid 35 bucks. So I will take it. Let's see. What's up, Adam? Thanks for joining. Millennial Profits in the house. Sorry I missed the beginning of the had a ton going out. How are your sales? Hey man, no problem. I get it, brother. You stayed way busier than I do. Sales this weekend were pretty good. About average. Did about 2,000 in sales this weekend. Sorry guys, I have to grab some more boxes. But yeah, we did about 2,000. Have about 45 orders going out today from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So not too bad. Can't complain. I mentioned it in the beginning, but we've seen a pretty big increase. I was up 20%, I think, for the week up until Friday, and then it slowed down on the weekend, of course. I don't know what the deal is with that, but it happens. But yeah, so not a bad weekend overall. Appreciate you joining. If you guys haven't, obviously most of you have if you're from Bread and Butter, but if you haven't checked out his channel, and I'm not saying this just because he's in here, but he has all the detailed videos on how to do everything. I wish I had the time and everything to do. I don't know how he makes time to do it, but he does a great job over there if you're looking for content as far as just helpful tips, tricks, and stuff like that on how to do anything on Amazon or on eBay mostly, but he does cover some Amazon stuff as well. Let's get this hat going out here to, I can't even pronounce that name. Oh, this is going over to American Samoa, or American Samoa. That's cool. I don't think I've shipped anything over there, and it's been a long time. That's really cool. I didn't realize I even had that as an option on my thing here, but we'll take it. Going out. Let's see here. Thank you guys so much for joining. Appreciate it. We got 9 viewers in the house today, so I appreciate that. If you could hit that thumbs up, I'd greatly appreciate it. A few of you have already, so that helps out. Trying to get this channel growing. Obviously, I'm not doing very good on the content side of it for short videos and stuff. I have some videos recorded. I just got to edit them, and that's what takes me forever. So I do want to get some of that up and get the channel growing, but it's inventory stacking season, and if it's not inventory stacking season, then it's fourth quarter, and then you're shipping all day. So, but we'll get there eventually. We will get that stuff out to you. I'm excited about the videos I've got. We recorded a Kohl's haul video from this last one just because we bought so much, and then we also have that video hopefully coming out here in the next few weeks if I can get a little bit of spare time on the bulk deal that we talked about. So really excited to get to show you guys some of that that behind the scenes look at some of that stuff. Let's see, Millennial probably said, I feel that I have about 8 videos in the bank, but no time to edit them. Yeah, exactly. Like, and I've been trying to make sure I record them. Obviously, you know, I would like to get them out sooner rather than later, but you know, it is what it is. At least I have it recorded, and you know, once I do get time, I don't have to try to come up with an idea. So, but we'll get those out hopefully in the next few weeks. I'd like to try to get one video a month, and that sounds terrible, but it's about where I'm at on being able to get videos out. If I can just specifically take like a weekend or take, you know, a Sunday or something like that and just focus on editing, we can make that happen. So we will try to do that. I've just been crazy too with trips and stuff like that. We've got a lot of different ones, and that's one of the nice things. I try not to lose the advantage. Obviously, one of the advantages to working for yourself is being able to set your own schedule, make some adjustments and whatever you need. So I've been trying to make sure that we take the time to do some of these trips while we have the time, have the money, all that stuff. I know we've got the move coming up, and it won't be, you know, budget will be tighter next year and stuff like that. So I've been trying to take advantage of being your own boss and being able to do some of these trips and stuff, but that does take up a lot of my free time. So that's kind of where we're at with that. This is a all black and with the white outline logo Buffalo Bills hat. Really neat hat. Fitted. It's a 1/8. Sold for $44.99. Going to Arkansas. And this was actually, I forget if I got these on last year or the year before. Had them for a bit, but coming into football season, I think they're going to start selling again. So I'm happy for that. Going out to Alvin. I wonder if he has a brother Simon. All right. But yeah, videos, shorts. I need to go through, and this has been recommended by a lot of people. Actually, have mentioned it to me. My buddy Pete that's in here, and then I think there's a couple people in Red Butter and stuff that you mentioned it. Taking some of these and editing the long episodes into shorter clips, even doing some shorts and stuff. So I want to look into that, but again, I just have so much stuff going on. I want to get the website up before I try to really focus on this, just because I feel like I'm investing some money into that, and coming into the holidays and stuff, I want to have the website up so I can refer people to it. So I've been really wanting to put effort into that. Once I get that up and going, and I'm about halfway on that, still probably got another week's worth of work to do on that website. But once we get that done, then hopefully, fingers crossed, I can go and get started on the content side of this and get some more content up for everybody and hopefully grow it. And like I said, the whole reason for growing is just to get more people in here, so you know, more people to interact with, more people to ask questions, more people to post opinions and stuff like that. That's what this whole channel is about, and I'm really hoping we can get that started. This is a really neat hat. Not a Steelers fan, but I wish so bad. They don't make Arizona Cardinals stuff at all, hardly. And I heard actually from one of the district managers that they slow down on manufacturing like hats and stuff until teams get their new colors and stuff. Well, not colors, but their new color schemes and uniform changes and stuff like that. I don't know if that's true or not, but they have not been making any Arizona Cardinals stuff other than like the draft hats and, you know, the ones that they make everything of. So hopefully that is the reason. I'm a huge Arizona Cardinals fan. Would love to get some Arizona Cardinals product. And if they made something like this, I would buy it in a heartbeat. But this is a Steelers hat we picked up from my supplier, and it is a size 8, guys. I sold, I think, 3 or 4 size 8 hats. Don't sleep on them. If it's a really neat hat or a really unique one, I would definitely pick it up because they do eventually sell. And you can still get, you know, full price out of them. Like I said, we sold this one for full retail at $49.99. And it's going out to Javon in New York. So Steelers fan in New York, or Steelers fans in New York. But yeah, that was a really neat hat. That's why I bought it and figured it would sell, and it did. Hey, Paramotor, what's up? Yo, what's up? I got a tabletop tape dispenser like you have there after I watched the ship, and I really like it. I do too. Like, I don't use it a ton, but it's so nice to have instead of trying to peel off of the tape gun, especially when you got a broken one. I still haven't replaced this one. I dropped it and broke the little fin or whatever they call on it, but yeah, I love mine. I mean, it was kind of expensive for what it was, but I don't know if anybody else is like that. I don't think Adam is. I've watched some of his videos. He always talks about how he's always trying to be a cheapskate with his stuff. I love buying stuff for the business. So like, I love buying new tape guns and stuff. That's why I have scanners. I have 2 of these. Stuff like that. It's really bad. I don't recommend it because you can blow a lot of money that you don't need to spend. But I like buying that stuff. So the tape dispenser is one of those things like, oh, that would be nice to have. And it's come in handy a lot, especially when you're doing videos and stuff and you just to have it there to quickly grab tape if you need it, hold a box together, whatever you need to do. So it is nice, but I like to buy gadgets. I was the same way when I was at all my other places. If I love shopping the supplies, catalogs and stuff we would get for Sears and Hobby Lobby and stuff to make things easier. There's always stuff in there that I'd never seen, so kind of weird like that. All right, moving on. That was actually just one day's orders, guys. That was Friday's orders. We got to keep moving on here, and we've already been on here for an hour. All right, let's keep moving through here. If you guys have any comments, questions, anything like that, let me know. Feel free to leave them down there. I appreciate, even if it's not related, I don't mind one bit. I like the engagement, and it gives me something to talk about while I'm trying to get all these orders shipped. This next one is another hat. We sold a lot of hats, so be ready for that, guys. Detroit Tigers here. This is a teal pack, or sorry, mint pack is what I think the color scheme on this. This is going internationally, actually, through the international shipping program. Paid $54.99 for it. They paid like $65 plus shipping. I don't know what their shipping cost was. But $54.99 for this one in a 3/8, and it's going out to the international address. I don't know what the name is on that one. But yeah, we sold a lot of hats. Glad to see those still taking off, especially with how many we have now. Love my hats, but sometimes I'm afraid I invested way too much money in them, and then as soon as I think that, I go out and buy more. So I guess that's what I'm gonna do. What's up? Paramount said, I'm the same way. I love buying handy little gadgets for our business. I know, it's so much fun. Like, I enjoy buying tape. I actually have to go through and order tape and labels and stuff like that this week. I'm starting to run low. I buy in bulk. I'll buy 12 rolls of tape or more at a time. I'll buy 2 things of the labels, so I'll end up with like 48 rolls of labels and stuff, just because I cannot stand running out. I was the same way when I worked for Hobby Lobby and those companies. Bags, I hated running out of bags or anything like that, so I always bought a lot, and I'm still the same way now. So I'm excited. I get to spend a little bit of money, even though I shouldn't be excited to buy supplies. Shelby said, any advice on how to arrive at the right selling price? I struggle with that, especially if the comps are not exact. Okay, Shelby, can you give me an idea of what you sell? Just, it doesn't have to be exact, but just, are you selling used items? Are you selling new clothing? Are you selling, anything like that? Because comps, once you're into the game, once you've learned it, it seems so easy to us. And I feel bad because I think some of the people in the group, post, and everybody's like, why don't you just check comps? I do remember how it was, especially first starting out. It can be confusing and stuff like that, because not everything has an exact comp, or not everything has an exact, selling or something like that. But once you learn it, you'll figure it out. If you let me know what kind of types of items you sell, I'll tell you how I would do it, and that's just my advice, or just how I, kind of an idea of what I would do. And maybe that'll help out. Maybe it's something that you haven't thought of before. But it depends on what you're selling, because again, my stuff, I'll start by telling you how I comp my stuff. But if yours is any different, or if you're, especially if you're selling used or anything like that, let me know and I can kind of help you out there. As far as how I comp and how I get an idea of what to price my items at, let's just do this. Let's take the next item, and I'll tell you exactly how I would do it with this next item. That way it's a little bit easier for me to explain with an item in hand. So next up on our list is, excuse me here. All right, perfect. Next up, we have a pair of slides. Let me see. You responded. I've tried to dabble in the cleats and hats, but I just don't seem to get it, and I've been bad at checking the sell-through rate if the comps aren't exact too. I have also just been selling on selling Amazon fails and returns. All right, so this would be kind of similar. I guess I would do the same thing with cleats or anything like that. If you're selling a brand, Nike makes it really easy. They use a style code that everybody uses. You search that style code, it's going to show you the actives and then the solds. Okay, with their style codes is super nice, because if you include the last 3 numbers on this, you're going to get the exact colors. So basically all the listings are going to be the same item. Might be different sizes, but they're going to be the same item. For me, if I was to take this item, with it being Nike, I'm going to search that particular style code and look at I go to solds first. I'll go to sold comps first. So I click on the sold completed listings, and then I sort by ended recently. And I just sort of scan through and see if I can kind of come up with an average of what the last 5 items have sold for. That gives me kind of an idea of where they're at right now. Okay, so for instance, this particular one we sold for $34.99. So if I looked at the comps on these right now, I'd see mine sold for $34.99, might see one sold for $32, might see one that sold for $29, might see one back at $35. You know, so 35, 29, 35, 32, whatever. So I know my price range is between 30 and 35. Then I'll take the size that it is, and basically if it's a decent size, not giant or really small, then I'll price it right in that area. Most generally for me, I like to go high. I'll price it at 35. Okay, so if I have a couple of sold comps at 35 and most of the others are within a couple bucks, I'm going to list it at 35. The reason I do that is because I feel confident in my listing ability to make sure I have the right keywords in the title, the right photos, and stuff like that. Again, makes it really easy with Nike. Okay, your cleats are going to be the same way. If you don't have that style code, then you go with just the name of the item. So for instance, these are the Nike Victory 1 slides, I believe is what these are called. So you could just search that. Colors, you know, you're going to have difference in colors and stuff like that. If you're doing cleats, for instance, you know, it's pretty standard. You can just search that name of the cleat and, or what the, you know, whatever the name of the style is on the cleat, the brand. And again, just you kind of look for the sold. You want to see what the, I wouldn't sort by lowest on the sold comps, search by most recent, and just look and try to see if you could find kind of a rough average. Okay, so again, if they're listing between 30 and 35, you want to make sure your listing price is going to be in there. And obviously you want to make sure your buy price is going to be best. So this was a $9 buy price, sold it for 35, listed it for 35. My profit is there at that price. Okay, and that's what you should be doing on every single item. It gets a little bit harder with hats, obviously. For instance, let's take this hat. Actually, this is kind of an easy one, but this hat here, if we're going to comp this hat online, I'm not going to find this exact style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the style of the hat as far as the 5950. I'm going to look for Los Angeles Angels, and then I'm going to look for something that is close, maybe red. Okay, maybe the red hats or something similar to that. You don't even have to go that specific on hats, but just kind of look at how many are sold versus how many have been listed. Hats are really hard. I honestly would not recommend hats right away, because you have to have some experience, and you're not going to find exact numbers. For instance, sold comps on this, I couldn't find sold comps on this when I bought this. Okay, there were none. There were none, even hardly any red Angels hats that had sold. But I have experience in selling them, so that's why I can do that. I wouldn't recommend hats to begin with at all. And the other thing with it is I've had this hat for 2 years, over I think 2 years, or maybe a little bit under 2 years, and it's just now selling. So I tied up all that money for 2 years. It's a great opportunity if you have the capital to do it and you want to invest in it, look at it as an investment, but it is not something I would recommend starting off with. The cleats are, like I said, cleats are good, but you have to remember you're buying in season. So make sure, you know, or not buying in season, but you have to make sure they're selling in season. So if you're buying football, I think football cleats just started selling. They may not have yet. I don't know exactly. I don't have very many football cleats. But like, you know, it's not necessarily football season yet. So they're not going to sell right now. The comps aren't going to be as high because people aren't buying them right now. But once they do start buying, you can kind of look. That's not really much help, Shelby. Sorry. I know I'm already confusing myself and trying to keep track of where I've been with it. My best advice is to go through and just try to take and find an average price that it's selling for, and then price yours there. Make sure the rest is going to come. Price is not everything, okay? Price is not going to determine if your item sells or not. It can, but it's not the only thing that's going to determine it. For me personally, I do sell a lot of stuff for higher than the lowest price, but that's because I make sure that my listings titles have as many keywords as I think people would search for that item. So for instance, these, I always try to make sure I have slides and sandals in there, even though they're not sandals. I know there's people that search for them. My camera's tracking me again. But make sure you have that in there. Make sure you have all your item specifics filled out. So make sure the color is there, the size is there, if you know what kind of the material it's made out of. Is it rubber? Is it synthetic? Is it whatever? All those item specifics is what, when somebody searches, it searches that. So it doesn't matter what you put in the description. The only thing that matters is your title and your item specifics, and that's how people are going to find it. Making sure you have that good, that is going to allow more people to find your item and possibly sell it for whatever price, because just because it's not the lowest. It doesn't have to be the lowest to sell. These, for instance, are actually, I oversold some pants. I sold some baseball pants that I picked up, and I oversold it. I sold it on Amazon a long time ago, and they finally sold on eBay. I don't recommend doing this, but I actually was able to order those from somewhere else, and it was cheaper than my price, and I only lost $1 or $2, but I didn't have to cancel the order. That's the whole reason I did it. You can look on those items. For instance, those pants, if you go on eBay and look, there were actually people that had them listed $3 to $4 cheaper, but they still bought it from me. That could have been because my photos were good or better than the other ones. Could have been because my shipping times were faster. Could have been because my item specifics were more specific and something they searched was in that and it wasn't in the other ones. There's all kinds of reasons that it'll sell. So I don't feel like you have to necessarily just sell at the very lowest price. But again, you want it to be competitive. You want it to keep it competitive in the market, and find that middle ground is what I would suggest. So, if you're not selling your items, it's priced. If you go and sort by lowest and your item is one of the few, the lowest priced ones for that size or whatever, then I would check into maybe upgrading your listing as far as making sure you've got the right type of search result or search terms in your title, making sure you have as many specifics as you can, make sure your photos are good. Somebody asked me the other day to take a look at their Cole Haan, sorry, I get called out for that all the time. They asked me to check on their Cole Haans, and one of the things I noticed with their listing was that the photos were like taken inside of the cutoff box. Okay, it makes it look a little bit more professional. If you're not including that cutout box or that that damaged box or whatever, don't show it in the photos. You want to keep it clean and exactly what you're selling and so on, and hopefully that can help. Again, all those kind of affect people as they buy. If you go into a store and you see a bunch of trashed items sitting on a shelf, you're going to go pay a couple more dollars and get it from somewhere that it's not trashed. Most people do. And you have to look at it that way on eBay as well. Hopefully that helps, Shelby. I don't know if you have anything more specific that you want me to cover, let me know. I'm not that great on explaining some of that. But if you, like I said, if you have anything more specific, let me know. Okay, that helps, especially knowing hats are difficult without experience. Yeah, that helps. I think my biggest problem may be I am not finding good sell-through items. Okay, let me cover the sell-through. Yeah, I need to spend more time on sell-through, I think. Exactly. So when you're first starting out, it's really hard because you obviously want your item to sell quick so you can get that money back and buy more. That's how it is. I'm the same way right now, even. I wish I had, $50,000 more dollars that I could go spend on inventory because I know so much more now. But for instance, this is a great example. We have these Allbirds, okay? Like I said, this is one of my online arbitrage buys, and I bought 20 of each size, 20 size 7 to 20 size 8s. I should have never bought that many because the sell-through wasn't there. And you definitely want to check the sell-through. You definitely want to make sure that it's something that, there's not 20 of them listing and only one sold. Because even though that one sold for a good price, if you've got 20 of them in there now, everybody's going to try to compete, and eventually it's going to drop the price down. You're not going to get as much out of them. These ones here, I had to drop my price down to $35, where I should have been able to get 40 when I bought them. They were selling for 40 to 45, I think. And I just didn't. I just waited too long and, didn't get them priced out right the first time. So I sat on them for 2 years, literally. And now I'm just now moving them just because I had to drop the price. I'm not making that much money on them, but I'm just getting my money back. But it wasn't a high sell-through item. Well, okay, this one was it was a decent sell-through item, but I didn't have it priced right to make it a high sell-through item. So definitely check sell-throughs. Again, the easiest way to do that is just doing it. There's actually now, if you go on the website, and this is hard to do on your phone, obviously, if you're sourcing in store, but they now have a sell-through rate calculator on Terapeak on eBay. It's not called Terapeak anymore either. It's called Product Research or something. But if you go to that, you can just Google Terapeak on eBay Terapeak, and you'll find the link. If you go and search through all of that, my camera keeps tracking me here. If you go through and search that, then the what's it called? Sorry guys, my camera's messing up. There we go. It's distracting me. You can see the sell-through. So if you search the last 90 days on that item, you can see it'll give you a sell-through rate for that particular thing. Now make sure your search terms are correct, and you want to be a little more specific. I wouldn't put size and stuff, but make sure you have your color in there and your item and so on. But you can get an actual sell-through, and it makes it a little bit easier if you're not real sure how to calculate that right off, and then you'll get an idea. Just kind of a cheat if you have access to the desktop site to make it a little bit easier. But you definitely just want to see how many items are listed and then hit sold and see how many items have been sold in the last 90 days. That'll give you your sell-through. Just always remember with sell-through, it's based off of the last 90 days. If you search a Christmas ornament right now, the Christmas ornament sales are going to be terrible, or the sell-through is going to show terrible, okay? Because it's not selling right now. It will sell during Christmas, and you have to adjust. That's when you would use your Terapeak or whatever to look at the specific dates. But just remember, if it's a seasonal item at all, cleats, again, hats are still a seasonal item. Baseball hats sell all year long, but they may not sell near as fast during football season as they do during baseball season. So keep that in mind as well. But yes, sell-through is key in this game, and it's something that, I'll be honest, I tend to need to focus more on. It would help me with my cash flow and inventory issues as far as, having too much inventory for sure. Next up, we have a pair of size 13. These ones, you guys see me sell these every single week. I picked up a couple more. This is actually from the restock. Super excited I found these. I only paid $10 for these. They were just leftovers from the previous sale that I missed, or they got returned or something. I don't know. But yeah, this last clearance event, we picked up a couple more of these at $10 a piece. They were $20 clearance, half off of that. Cannot complain, and we sold them for $69.99. So we will take that. I don't get them that cheap often. Mostly these ones here I'm paying $25 for, but they do so well and have been one of the best finds I think I've found from the Kohl's clearance events. Love me some New Balance. And it does appear that the wides are selling faster than the standard sizes. I mentioned that earlier. I did get those listed, but they are selling a lot slower. Definitely want to get this tag pulled because nobody is going to be happy getting a pair of shoes that somebody paid $20 for. And they paid $70, so we'll make sure to pull this one off. But yeah, not super happy. I think I only got 2 or 3 pair of these in the wide. But we did get a whole bunch of pair of the standard sizes. So hopefully they sell through quick, but I think it's going to take a little bit longer. I might have to drop. I won't get probably full retail out of those. But we shall see. All right, going out to Caroline. Thank you for the question, Toby. I really appreciate it. Hopefully that helped out. If you have any more, feel free to let me know. I'm not the... Believe it or not, I put a bit of planning into these episodes as far as the topics, and I kind of have like bullet points that I want to cover and stuff. And so if I'm lacking a little bit in my responses to questions, because I'm having to think off the top of my head, which is not always my strong suit. But like I said, if you have anything specific or anything further that you want to know on, just feel free to let me know. I'm happy to share what I think on it. And again, my opinions, not always going to be 100% correct. But just sharing to you what I found and through my experience. I don't know why I do this. It's habit, but I just don't like all this loose tape on these things sometimes. That's why I don't like reusing boxes, because I sit there and pick at the box the whole time. I don't need to. It's just going to get thrown away anyway. But here's what it is. Going out. All right. Let's see. This is Caroline in Bay City, Michigan. Bay City. All right, next up, what do we got here? I'm trying to think. Oh, so we were talking about not being afraid to sell, and I kind of covered that as far as don't be afraid of Veros. You get a lot of chances with Veros. eBay's really nice about that, unlike Amazon. But don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of negative feedback. I see so many people that sell, and they sell to a new buyer, and they're all they're worried about is the negative feedback. Or should I ship it to this buyer? They don't have very much feedback, or they they left a negative for a seller or something. Don't be afraid to sell it. I mean, if I'm not saying you shouldn't be cautious with that, but At no point am I ever going to cancel a sale unless I don't have the item. Okay. If I'm afraid there's going to be, somebody's going to return an item that it's not mine, then I might mark the box. I might take extra photos before I ship it. I might even video myself packing it. But I'm never going to cancel an order because I'm afraid of it being returned, or I'm afraid of this or that. You can't run a business afraid of stuff like that. If it happens, it happens. But why would you not? I guess you're risking not making the money just in case it might come back versus selling it and then dealing with it if it does come back. It's worrying about stuff before it happens. I tell my wife all the time, why worry about it? If there's nothing you can do about it, you can't worry about it. You just have to let it happen and then deal with the consequences later. But that's really the case in reselling. Don't ever be afraid to sell something because of new buyers or because of, people might return it, whatever. If you did your job in the listing and making sure it's correct and stuff like that, no, it's not going to guarantee you're not going to get a return, but it's going to reduce all those chances that it will happen. If it does happen, you answer it there. If you don't have returns on, then you should have the photos and everything that you need. Is eBay going to side with you all the time? No, but why would you not sell the item and sell it in the possibility of it not being an issue versus having an issue? I don't understand it. I would highly recommend to always sell your item. Don't be afraid to sell the items until you have a reason not to. And that goes for everything. That goes for even, worry about a customer leaving bad feedback, denying the return. If it's a legitimate reason to deny the return, deny the return. If you get a negative feedback, I know they suck. I hate it. I have 8 of them right now over the past year, and it's really annoying me, especially since eBay's not doing anything to address them. But it is what it is. I mean, you can't be afraid to sell all your items because you're going to get negative feedback. Oh, we're out of tape. All right. Let me grab a new tape roll. Yeah. So again, that's just my opinion, but I always tell anybody that asks me about selling new, should I sell this item, whatever. If you do your part, make sure it's there. Yes, there's going to be mistakes made, but at the end of the day, why would you not sell it? That's the whole reason you listed it. And just to worry about it possibly coming back or something like that, especially once it's already sold. I don't see any reason to not sell an item if that's what you listed it to do. Bear with me, guys. I'm gonna have to swap out some tape here. My tape gun might be a little bit loud. But yeah, I feel bad because I feel like, I'm not saying there isn't risk and stuff in reselling, but so many new buyers are afraid of selling their stuff and afraid of of returns or whatever the issue is. It's just part of the business. You learn from it, and at the end of the day, you're going to sell 95% of your items and not have any issues. It seems like it's a big deal, but when you look at how many orders I ship out versus how many issues I deal with, the percentages is not there. It's just so low, and to worry about that small percentage of your sales having issues puts a lot of stress on you, and stops you from being productive and selling items that may not be an issue at all. So don't be afraid to sell, please. That's why we're here. That's what we're doing, and deal with the issues as they come, but don't worry about them ahead of time. Next up, we got another size 8 Los Angeles Angels hat. Did something happen with the Angels? I don't know. There's sold a bunch of their hats this weekend. Really neat hat. Again, has the brown tan kind of logo. This tan color, this Carhartt like color scheme, has been really popular right now, especially in hats, but in a lot of other things. If you see any of these, even if they're a little bit higher and it's a decent team, I'd recommend checking them out for sure, because I have sold so many recently, or been picking these up, even if I'm having to pay a little bit extra for that tan color, and they are selling like crazy. So seem to be a popular option. Andrew in Chino, California, grabbed this hat from me, and we're gonna get it shipped out. Next up, oops, let's see, is it gonna scan? Yeah. Oh shoot, really messed up. All right, what do we got going out next? Something, guys, to consider. I'd love your opinion on this. AI descriptions on eBay. Okay. I'm going to get my opinion out of the way, then we can talk about it. Okay. I would not use it. I don't understand why people are using it so much. Okay. Number one, very few people read the description. Number two, if I start reading a description that reads out like these AI descriptions go, I don't even pay attention to them anymore. I don't read them. I literally read the first line of them and then I skip it and hope that the seller puts some information in the description other than that. Okay, because when I look at a description, this is me personally, again, I'm looking for the condition of the item, if it's not new or something like that, or details on, anything. I'm not really looking to know what the item is. I already know what the item is. And I feel like that's what all these AI descriptions are, is just they're taking obviously it's just taking whatever you put in the item specifics and your title and puts it in there and based off of the photo and puts it in your description. And for me, I don't pay any attention to it. I hate it. I don't like, I've skipped over listings before because they didn't give the information I was looking for. Whether it was, the condition, open box. Somebody put an open box item, said new open box, had it listed as new, which isn't correct, but they said new open box in the description, and had an AI title. I wanted to see what, is everything there, is, whatever, all those details, and there was nothing there. And I just skipped over the listing. I feel like people are using it too much. What's your guys' opinion on it? Because again, the second thing with that is it sets yourself up. If you sell similar, which most people do, you have to make sure all the item specifics are exactly what they should be, because that AI then takes it and puts it into your description. And if you have one thing off, for instance, the material that it is, it then puts that, obviously it's bad for it to be the item specifics wrong, but then it puts it in your description as wrong too and gives you all this false information and literally makes your description looks like it's a lie because you typed it out. You stated it's this. I personally I wouldn't use it, and I'm not telling you guys what to do. Obviously, you can do whatever you want, but I'm not using them, and it's really starting to annoy me because I'm seeing a ton of people using them, and whether it's wrong information or just generic information that you could have, obviously you already know about the item, and it just seems so fake to me. Like reading it, it's AI generated. Like the wording and everything is there. It's like using all these elaborate description words and adjectives. I don't like it. I just hope that maybe they'll get better at it. I don't know what's gonna happen with it, but I just don't think it's that great. This next item I don't have. Thanks to Adam, I actually oversold. I oversold 2 items this week. That's really bad. But this item I actually oversold. But one of the nice things about Bread and Butter is you can post in there a lot of times if it's something that you bought from the group, there might be other sellers that still have it, and that was the case with this one. This item that sold is that yellow LA Dodgers corduroy like baseball hat. Basically, it's a 47 brand curve bill. But I oversold by 1. Don't have a clue how, but I did. And luckily, I posted in the group. Adam still had one, so I sent Adam the label, and then I'm going to send him the payment for it here after I get done with this video. So he made the money. He's going to make the money on the sale, and all he had to do is ship it, which is awesome. But I don't have to cancel the order. So I'm going to break even on the sale. I'm not going to get anything on it, but I'm going to I don't have to cancel the order, and it's not going to go against my metrics. So that's super cool. I accidentally printed the label, but I already sent it over to him, so he's shipping it out. But that's really cool. And thanks to Adam for helping me out there. But that's something nice about the group too. Especially if it's a call out, and it doesn't have to be just a call out, but especially if it's a call out, there's probably somebody else that may still have it. And if you accidentally oversell, you don't have to cancel the order on yourself. So really cool there. So thanks to Adam for getting that one out for me today. Next up, we sold this little tiny thing. This is a bin store purchase that we picked up a long time ago. I actually picked up these boxes for $1. I think I picked them up on $1 a day. Nobody knew what it was, basically. And it had 100 of these little tubes in it. And I'm actually down to my last, this is the last of this box. I got 3 more boxes of these. These, I need to sell them actually, because I think they do expire next year. This is, I can't even pronounce it. It's some sort of, it's not medication, but I believe it's like, or well, I don't know. It's Boron is the company that makes it. Boreon. Yeah, Boreon. This little tiny thing though sold for $8, and we paid, like I said, or $9, excuse me, and we paid, I have no clue what like I said, $1 for the box. So I have a penny in that, I think, which is just absolutely crazy. So, and they sell on and off throughout the year. I need to make sure my price is good, but yeah, definitely crazy pickup. just nobody knew what it was. And like I said, it ended up going to $1 a day. And I happened to grab it. I seen a listing that had like 20 of them sold or something for like 20 bucks. So I was like, okay, it's worth it. Bought all the boxes I seen, and ended up being a way better value than I thought it was going to be. That's going out to Simon though, up here at the top. Oops, ad tracking. So I miss my bin stores, I really do, but it's so hard to shop there because it takes so much time to list the stuff. But I do miss I miss finds like these. I used to like finding this stuff more than I did the giant, the electronics and stuff like that. Because half the time the electronics were either missing parts or something. They were still worth buying, but these type of buys are always the best for me. I love finding those. Next up, let's see. Shelby said, "Love bread and butter, great group." It's an awesome group. If anybody isn't in bread and butter and they want to be, I'm going to promote again. I have a sign up link down below if you'd like to check it out, or you can shoot me a message and I will explain everything that bread and butter is. I'm not going to go through all of it this week, but awesome group to be a part of if you are a reseller. Well worth the money, and has been probably one of the biggest helps in my business, honestly. And I'm not just saying that. Adam is the owner, Millennial Profit there. He is the owner, but I'm not just saying that because he was in here. I literally, a lot of this stuff, I would have never gotten into a lot of this stuff had it not been for that group. So they've helped my business a lot. And something we've talked about in the past, but adapting with reselling, I think it's one of the biggest keys in reselling that everybody needs to be ready for and willing to, especially, like all this stuff going on with Amazon. You have to be ready to make changes when necessary. You can't see, if you're selling all on Amazon and all of a sudden it's, becoming a hassle or whatever, you can't just give up and quit reselling. You need to figure out how to, switch it up. There's always money out there. You just have to figure out how to get it. And that's been one of the keys with the group is it's helped me adapt to what I'm selling now. Whereas I was just doing bin store purchases before. And honestly, I would have never been able to scale my business, I don't feel like, to this level that it's at now if I had been doing just bin stores. Just because, number one, it's harder to get product. You have to source every week to keep up with product. And then the other thing is you just have to spend a lot more time listing it, making sure that it's correct, it's not damaged, whatever the case may be. Next item up, I'm gonna actually have to work on here, but we sold these Converse size 13s. These are giants. But these are size 13s, really cool leather Converse, this brown color. Sold these for $84.99. I don't know what retail is on these. It might say on the box, I guess. No, it doesn't. I can't remember if I picked these up in store. I know I did buy some of these in store. And I actually think I bought another pair this last trip when I was on vacation. So we should have some more of these coming in. But really nice. They don't sell quite as fast as some of the others, but when they do, you get high dollar from, like I said, 85 bucks for these ones. And they are, I think we paid $20, $24 max on these. So really nice, and they sell well. The only thing with Converse to watch out for is they are, I think, they're UK size, if I remember correctly. So they are bigger than a lot of other shoes out there. Like the UK size and the US size that I have listed is the same. Yeah, so size 13s are UK size 13. So they're bigger shoe than what, what's it called? Than what would be, what you would normally buy if you're buying in the US. So people that buy Converse and wear Converse a lot know this, but if you have somebody that happens to be new, then you might have to, they might not understand that. And that's why I say, I'm not afraid to sell these, okay? Or is there a chance that the buyer is going to want to return them? Possibly, if they haven't bought Converse before. But what's the chances that the buyer knows Converse already too? So I could be worried about this coming back because of the size difference, or I can be worried that the buyer has bought them, or think about how the buyer has probably bought them before and they're going to know already. So just an example I was talking about. Don't be afraid to sell your items. But these are really cool shoes. I love buying these, honestly, because I know they sell. Mark is the buyer for this one. Oops, didn't quite get that. And we're going to put the label right over this other one. These Academy boxes have been coming in clutch, actually. Making it nice, not having to use my ones that I buy. Also, if you guys ever need supplies or have suggestions or would like a suggestion on supplies, I leave most of the stuff that I use in the videos is down below in the description box. So if you're interested in that, you can take a look. No pressure there. I'm not one of those people that it just does help. I do get paid, obviously, a small commission from any of the links used down below. So I do need to make sure I state that. But I appreciate it. Just help support the channel when you do that. But don't feel like you have to. Like I said, that's just some examples of what I use in particular. Next up, we have the Lego. I always call this a pillow. It's not a pillow. It's actually a puffer throw blanket packed in like a pillowcase. So it can be used as a pillow or you can pull it out. Pick these up at a bin store. I think I paid $8 or $9 for these, honestly. Paid too much for them, and they only sold, $9, and it sold for $26.99, so not bad. Actually, I think the last one sold for $20, so I must have had it on a sale or something. But $26.99. We're gonna throw this in a poly real fast. If I can get one over here. Let's see, maybe. Sorry, I'm off camera a little bit. But got that out of the way. This is stuff that I used to buy a lot of at bins and stuff, and I just don't anymore just because of the size. Takes up space. I'd rather have some shoes that I can sell for $80, taking up that space instead of a pillow. And like I said, sell-through on those was terrible. That was something that I bought and didn't check. Well, I checked sell-through. There was no sell-through, but it was so cheap and it was Lego. I was like, oh, it'll sell. And it did, but it took over a year and a half to get rid of it. This is the type of inventory that I'm trying to clear out right now, guys, because I just need the space and I don't want to have to keep dealing with it. So we are trying to move some of that. That's some of the items that we've been putting on sale, just trying to get them out of the way and get some of our money back too. That's the other thing. See, that label is not on here. Hopefully I didn't skip it. There it is. Okay, next day. All right. But yeah, so trying to clear out some room. I need some room bad. My house is a wreck and it's only going to get worse. So got to sell. Talked about AI descriptions already. What's your guys' opinions on that? As far as AI, like I'm really curious as far as the description of the stuff. I know that used in other things also, but Shelby said, do you sell any pre-owned items? Very, very rarely. The pre-owned items that I sell are mostly either bin store items that I bought that may not have been pre-owned. I just list them as that to make sure that, there's no issues. It might be missing pieces or whatever. Or it's stuff that I sell from around the house. Stuff that I personally have had that I sell. I've sold some shoes and stuff like that. But I don't do pre-owned. The only reason I don't do pre-owned is because I don't like listing it. I just get tired. So this is a good example, actually. Did we sell this as... I think we listed it as used. It's actually brand new. It's never been used, but the box was damaged. We opened it up. Everything's literally cable ties, all that's good. But this is an item that I sold as pre-owned because it's not sealed and stuff like that. We sold it for $40 as a bin store purchase. I found this in that random box of inventory, so I would have sold a long time ago, but I just not found it. Let's see. Well, nope, it's not going to fit in that. I gotta grab a box. Look at that. Perfect. Academy coming in clutch with the boxes. So I don't sell used, and that's just because I don't like listing it. I don't like having to take photos of the items, any damage, and look over the item for damage and stuff. It's just me. It's not honestly, there's so much money in pre-owned stuff and used stuff that I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm missing out. I watch YouTubers, that do yard sales and stuff, and they make such good profit, but I just don't like dealing with the hassle, and then people saying it's damaged, and stuff like that. I don't like it. I find so much now with what I source that I don't feel like it's necessary for me to try to deal with the hassle of it, and that's the only reason why I don't. But like I said, there's so much money in it. It is worth it, especially starting out. I would not tell anybody to skip it starting out. Because there's just a lot of opportunity there. All right, I need something just slightly to pack that in. That will do. Don't even need that much of it. But yeah, pre-owned is kind of one of those things. Like I said, I have done it in the past. So just try to avoid it just because I don't like listing it. I don't sell a lot of things that are profitable that I find just because I don't want to list them. But I had that luxury. I guess I should say I had the luxury just because I never feel like I'm running out of inventory to buy. I feel like I never have enough money. Shelby also said, I hate reading AI descriptions. I don't use them at all. Thank you, Shelby. No, just kidding. No, I'm the same way. I just don't like it. I feel it's just too generic. Too generic. Even though my descriptions literally, I don't take a lot of time on descriptions, okay? My descriptions consist of a copy of the item's title in the description, the condition of the item, sorry, brand new, in box, brand new without box, whatever the condition is, and then I'll put in if there's multiple sizes available, like if I'm selling a drop down menu on a pair of shoes or whatever, I got multiple sizes, then I'll post multiple sizes, or I'll tell them to check the size chart in the items photos for conversion. So if I sell like a unisex shoe that will sell for both men and women, I'll put that in there. I'll do those minor things, in the description, but I don't go through and put a ton of time. I have a template that I have for new items, for open box items, for items without box, and I just click the template and then paste the title in and then change anything minor that I need to change as far as the condition goes. But it has that. And then I do have a thing, like for instance, my hats, I have a little statement at the bottom that says, check out my other listings for, thousands of other hats or whatever, kind of as a promo, I guess you could say. And I do put that in there just so people know that it's not just a one-off item. But I don't spend a bunch of time on it. The description takes not even 5, maybe 10 seconds of my time. I literally paste the title and then edit the condition is all I do on that. Going out to Anchorage, Alaska, that Easy Press. That was a Cricut Easy Press, by the way. I didn't mention that. But if you're into crafting, you know what that is. Basically, it's like a small iron, and you can put on like patches and vinyl and stuff like that onto clothing, hats, whatever it is. But that was a Cricut Press Mini. Cricut stuff sells great if you ever find it. It does sell great. Obviously, make sure you get it at the right price, but highly recommend checking that out if you ever find them in the wild, especially if they're new in box. Next up, we have a Detroit Tiger hat that I got for a steal, like $3. This is a pink one, pink logo, but it's just a 47 brand. Selling these for $29.99, and it's going out to Victoria and Michigan. And I actually sold another one just like 2 hours later, I think. Sold another one, so sold Tigers and Angels stuff this weekend. Now that I'm thinking about it, people make fun of me. I don't follow baseball, even though I talk about it. And yeah, I haven't been following. I haven't seen anything on Facebook. My just a following baseball is either what I see in the Discord, which is very little, or what I see on Facebook, and haven't seen anything. So I don't know what's going on with them, but they are starting to pick up in sales. Must be doing good this season, if they're even playing. Next up, we have Victoria. Let's see if I can find that label. There we go. Going out. All right. What do we have next? Thank you guys for sticking around. Got a lot of you guys in here today. Appreciate that. What do you guys want to talk about in the next few episodes? Do you guys have any big topics? Anything reselling? Maybe even not reselling, but what do you want covered in an upcoming video? I would love some suggestions because I'm no joke in running out. Obviously, things happen throughout the week, and that's kind of what I focus on. This one I've had listed, and I planned on doing it last week or the week before even, and I just didn't get around to, or, it's been taking me some time, but I try to find some interesting topics, some stuff we haven't talked about before, but I am running out of ideas, so please feel free to let me know. And we did sell this Angels hat. This is the next one going out. Sold it for $59.99. This is the 4th of July series, and if you find these in the wild, they do well and they hold value. People look for these after. This is 2 years old, I think. This is from, I didn't put the date in the title, but I think this is 20... doesn't even say on here. No, this is 2023. Okay, it's not that old, but it did sell for $50.99. It's a good size, 7.5. So sold for well over retail on these ones, and it's just because that series of hats comes out every year, and what happens is when the new year of these comes out, then people search them on eBay trying to find them, and they find the older ones and they find the ones that they like. So these will always sell, like coming into 4th of July, they'll always sell because people are looking for the new ones and they find the old one and may like it better than the new one. So they hold value really well, especially in the fitted hats. Some of the others don't do as good. like the 3930s and stuff, but the 5950s are more collector's hats, and they do tend to sell really well. Shelby, I would love to talk about online sourcing over the shoulder style. That's a good idea, actually. Okay. I'll have to see if I can do that as a live stream, or if I'll have to do some, maybe I'll do some I pre-recorded and then put it in the live stream. I can do that now. I figured out how to do that, so I'm excited about that. I can kind of show you guys stuff in the live stream. That one I'll have to do a little bit of research on. Probably won't be real soon, Shelby, but I will gladly look into that, because that's a really good idea, kind of showing how it works. It's pretty straightforward, I'm going to be honest, and once you see it, it'll kind of make sense. Again, it's more knowledge and learning. Online arbitrage is one of those things, you learn brands and stuff like that by doing in-store and retail, and then you just apply that to online, to what you're searching for. But yeah, we could definitely do something like that. I'll have to come up with some search terms that I don't use, that way I don't give away my secrets. But no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we could do something like that. I do like that idea. Thank you, Shelby. Appreciate it. I'll add that to the list, and we'll see what we can find out. Learning how to find the sales and then find the item worth buying to flip, and researching the sell-through and selling price. Yeah, no, we can definitely do something like that. That's a really good idea. I'll just have to figure out how to do it. It may have to be one where we aren't shipping stuff, but we will definitely work on that. I like that idea. That would be a really cool one to show. Let's see. Next up on the ship to list, or to ship out list. Already got my box, or my bag full of hats today. Hat boxes. All right. Okay. Next up, we do have that other Tiger's hat. So there it is. So we sold that one, and so we'll get that boxed up. As far as online, I'll cover a little bit of that right now, though, if you want, since I don't really have a whole lot else to talk about. Online, obviously, one of the key things, and this is something that I recommend doing, if you're in bread and butter, this is easy, okay? Because you can use the previous callouts as an example. I would sign up, even maybe set up a separate email account, and this is something that's helped me out a lot with online, is to set up a separate email account for just your email signups from websites. Okay, so for instance, Kohl's. We talk about Kohl's all the time. Everybody knows that sale happens. You won't get necessarily a heads up. You do in bread and butter most of the time. We get a little bit of heads up in there, but you necessarily won't get a heads up by doing this. But it's something you can do without being in the group. You can sign up for their emails and then set it to that specific email or whatever. And then basically what I would do is every day, mostly as early in the morning as possible, because let's be honest, we're all doing this. Go in and check that email for all these different websites that you sign up for their emails. Check for their clearance sale notifications. Check for their additional discounts. They might send you coupons and coupon codes and stuff like that. That's one of the biggest ways to come across deals and things that haven't been found already. Okay, so for instance, I'll give away a little bit here. The Academy sale that we bought a bunch of stuff from, that you see me using all these boxes from. That sale was an email that I got. I got the email, I checked the email, started looking through, and I found a whole bunch of stuff, added a cart, bought it, whatever. And this was before we actually called it out in the group, because again, obviously you have to take care of yourself. Not that you're stingy, but you're not going to call out the item that you want to buy all of if you can. So, but we found those deals, and we were cooking that sale just based off of the email, and somebody or searched it or whatever. But I got the email notification on that one and started looking, found the items, and then so on, and found all those things that hadn't been called out yet. There wasn't as much competition on. That's one of the best ways, and it's one of the easiest ways to get started as far as to get notified of sales. And just check it every day. Check it every morning. Make it maybe one of the first things you do before you ship orders if you can. The earlier the better, and especially depending on what area of the country you're in, you may have to do even just a little bit earlier. For instance, myself, obviously I'm on the West Coast, so I sometimes will check, I wake up a lot in the middle of the night. I will actually check my email, when I wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning. That's 7 or 8 on the East Coast. So they've already probably seen it, but then I can get an idea if there's anything else going on. So I would recommend, that's just a little quick tip that I would give out to finding good online deals, is just literally go through, and any website that you have that has stuff that you're interested in, that you sell, sign up for their email notifications, and most of the time you can get a bit of a head start on finding some deals through that. Then obviously you're gonna have to comp. It does take time, and you have to comp and look for every item and stuff. But again, the more you do it, the faster you'll get, and the more you learn about the products, the faster it goes as well. What else did you say here? Learning how to find the sales. I think I read that one already. It'd be fun to see your listing process for being efficient. Yeah. I have, if you go to the very first episode of this series, actually, I don't remember if I live streamed that. No, I think that was a video I did. So I think it's on the video section of my channel. If you go check that out, I actually did a video. I'll have to check. It may be a little bit outdated, but I think I was listing. I have to check and see. I need to go back and watch it. But I did do a video on that. If you want to check it out, it may be outdated, and we can probably look at doing something new with that one too. Honestly, listings is for me depends on what I'm selling, but it's pretty standard. But we could definitely cover that too. That's another good idea. Thank you, Shelby. I appreciate it. These are some awesome ideas. Gonna refill my idea bank for sure. All right. Next up, we sold these sketchers. This was a Kohl's clearance event. I actually called these ones out over there in Bread and Butter, and these were a cook. I don't think very many people bought them, to be honest, because I did use a link on that one. I don't think I have very many interactions, but they were selling like crazy. Sold these ones for $69.99, and I don't remember. I think we paid $25 for these. Let me check real fast. Yes, $23 for these, and they're selling for $69.99. I do think I have the hot listing right now. They're selling like crazy for me. Size 9.5, so not a giant size. And the brown are selling. I bought the gray and ended up getting a bunch of the brown more because they had them more available and thought that they weren't going to sell as fast. I almost hesitated on buying more with my Kohl's cash, but decided to do it because I couldn't find anything else. And really glad I did, because the brown, I haven't even sold a pair of grays yet, but these browns are flying. They are wide shoes as well. And I do feel like wide shoes may sell a little bit faster. We're going to test that out with the Nikes. I got some wide versions and some standard versions of particular Nikes, and we're going to see which ones sell first, because I feel like wides sell a lot better online. I think there's just people, it's harder to find them in store, so they might go to online searching first. Just my opinion, or my theory. Going out to Michael or Michelle, excuse me, in Decatur. All right, oops. Let's try that again, add tracking. But yeah, these have been doing really well. These are not the steel toe. I sold the black ones that we got from a Bread and Butter call that were steel toe, and those sold really fast. I actually sold my last pair, I think, this past weekend, or last week. But these are not the steel toe version. They're still selling really well. All right, next up, let's see if I can get this in this bag. Ooh, I did, unfortunately, do some damage to my back. I have a back injury from working retail. Hurt myself unloading a semi truck at one point. Put me out of work for a couple months. Nothing crazy, honestly. I think they even said it was just a compressed disc. They didn't have to have surgery or anything like that, but it put me down for a while. And doing the paddleboarding, I think it was the pumping them up and all that. And then we kind of sat in an awkward position for a while because it was so windy we couldn't stand on the paddle boards. I don't know if you're familiar with paddle boards or not, but basically if you're standing on it and there's any wind at all, you're just a giant sail. And it's great if you're going in the right direction, but it wasn't going the right direction. And I think the way I sat or whatever just really messed with it. And so now I'm a little bit stiff and not feeling the greatest, but luckily I'm to the listing part and not the maneuvering product part, so I should be all right. This hat here is another one that we picked up as a big one, size 7 3/4. Picked these up for like $13. And actually, no, I think I only paid like $7. On these bigger sizes, I try to get them cheaper. I don't normally spend as much. But this one here did sell. It's that batting practice. These have been really popular recently. It's the batting practice mesh back fitteds, and sold it for $49.99, even with the giant size. So happy to see that one go. Of course, Yankee stuff is hot right now. Anything Yankees is selling pretty good, it seems. All right. Let's see. Next up, we sold that one for how much? $49.99. The tag said $45, so we're gonna pull that. Selling for over retail again. Me and Recon had a discussion about that the other day. It feels so good to sell something for retail or over. It's like, I don't know why. I mean, obviously it's more money, but it just makes you feel good. All right, next up, what do we got going out? What are the goals for this week? I mentioned in a few episodes back. Actually, this is episode what, 15? Is this episode 15? You know what? I think I messed up. I don't think I edited the title on this one either. It's like episode 15 or 16. We've been doing this for that long. Wow. Thank you guys for sticking around. I feel like I don't know how I've talked this much and not just said the same thing over and over for 15 episodes. So thank you guys for the continued support. We're sitting at 224 subscribers. I've been wanting to do a giveaway, wanting to do some interactions and stuff with that. And I said 250 the other day, and now we literally have not moved in subscribers at all. That's my fault. That's not your guys' fault. That's just me. I need to get things posted and shorts up and stuff like that. But we were making such good progress, and then we just stopped. So we are going to do something. We're just trying to wait it out. Next up, we have these New Balance here. These are the all black version, basically the exact same shoe that we just sold in the black, or the white and gray, but the all black. Size 13s again. Like I said, all these shoes are size 13s except for those Skechers. So it seems to be my popular size right now, especially in these wide shoes. These always help. These are wide as well, the 4Es. We've been selling these for a minute. Bought them for $25 and sold them for $69.99. And that is retail. Guys, I don't say that. I just thought of it right now. I don't say the whole, selling for retail, over retail, whatever as a brag. Okay, that's not. I don't mean it like that. Obviously, I'm happy about selling it for that, but I kind of say it as a way because I get a lot of people that like to say you can't sell for retail or over retail, as a reseller. And I'm not the cheapest price on these, and I'm not saying that again. I don't recommend just pricing everything high because that isn't why I'm in the predicament I'm in now with some of my shoes. But you don't have to be the lowest price. You don't have to be the whatever if you have a good listing and stuff and you're beating the other competition. So for instance, my listing, I feel like I really have a really good listing for it. It's done really well, and that's why it's selling over somebody that might have it $5 or $10 less because either the people are finding mine or whatever. That's why I say it. Okay, that's why I mentioned that I sold it for retail or over retail. It's not a brag. It's not me, I'm better than you, whatever. That's not my intention at all. I say that because I want to stress that you don't have to tank. You don't have to be the lowest price on every single item to make sales. And I feel like a lot of people, especially in the beginning, they get that idea in their head. And so they end up losing money because they're selling stuff for way less than what they should be. Yes, it sells, but you could, if you've got a good item and a good description and a good title and all that good stuff, you can get more money out of them. All right. What was I was just talking about? Oh, goals for the week, I think is where we were at. Goals for this week are going to be to get all the shoes listed from the Kohl's clearance event. That is my main goal, to get all those done. I do have to go and take a pair. I have to take some hats back that I bought from Academy. They sent me youth sizes instead of regular. And this one actually is sold for the same price. Sold for retail, $44.99. This is another one of those 4th of July, just the LA version. But can't get as much out of those. I don't know why, which is kind of odd. But 7 3/8, just more competition on that one. But it did sell for $44.99. What I was saying was I do have to return those hats. They ship all their hats from in store, and people just grab whichever ones that they want. The associates do, and they sent me like 12 or 15 hats that were youth size instead of the adult size. They are the same hat, to be fair. Like they do look the same, but they're youth. Same style, I guess I should say. So I do have to return those. I could have done it online, but I'm actually hoping they'll let me exchange and get the hats that I wanted because I got a really good price on them. So I figure it's worth the trip. I want to hit up one of my hat sources as well. I haven't been there in a few weeks and talked with them, so I do want to get in to do that. And then I need to return a pair of shoes to Kohl's. I bought some all black Nikes. One is like the new model and one's the old model. They're very similar, but they're two different shoes. And I didn't realize. And the thing is, I check most of the time, and I know the associate check too, as far as to make sure the size is matched. But they were just, it was like the, I can't remember the name of them, but they, like, one was number 12 and one was number 13. The 13 is the newer model of it. And yeah, so I got to return that. So I'm going to do that on probably Wednesday. And then the rest of the week is just going to be doing listings, getting the shoes up, and also editing some prices, trying to move some of my older inventory out, making sure they're still competitive, because I do need space for all the shoes. I've got the 2 boxes of shoes coming in for that I bought on my vacation that I shipped to myself. Hey, we sold some. Now I'm Boston selling. I sold 2 Boston hats today, Boston Red Sox. I don't know what the deal is. But yeah, those should be coming in, and that'll be the last of the shoes. And then I've got more hats from that bulk buy coming in later this week. So I got to have everything cleared out and done. My goal is to hopefully by Wednesday or Thursday at the latest have all my listings up for the shoes and all of them stored away. That way, once those new bulk hats get in, I can just focus on hats and get all that stuff done. So that is the goals for this week. I really don't have anything detailed. Next item sold are these marathon running shorts. These are doing really well, guys. These are something that I picked up in the Kohl's haul. I wasn't sure it's in that video. I think I had that just in the description box right now if you want to check it out. But we bought these. They took a while. I bought them last year going into winter, so I knew they would take a while to sell. But they are selling for, these ones sold for $30. We paid $8 for them. And I haven't had any returns yet. And I'm actually selling these on Amazon. I do tend to sell clothing on Amazon that are well-known brands. So Adidas, Under Armour, Nike. Most people know what their sizes are in these. And so I don't end up with as many returns. I still get returns, don't get me wrong. But I don't end up with as many returns for these and in those brands. And like I said, fingers crossed, knock on wood, we're not going to have any more, we're not going to end up with a bunch of issues with these. But these, I've sold several pair of these marathon shorts, the women's sizes. These are a size medium. And is that going to Kim? Let's see if I can find the label for Kim. But they haven't been returned. I haven't had a single pair returned yet. So seems to be working out, and something I will probably keep an eye on in the future. The sports, like the sportswear, women's sportswear, especially in these brands, tends to do well. The sports bras and stuff do great. I've done really well with those in the past. So happy to see they are selling. I was afraid they weren't going to sell because they've been sitting for a while, but just needed to get to the right time here in the summer, and we're good to go. Sold 2 more bottles of the VO5 hair conditioner. This is the one I literally have a pallet worth, not a pallet, a short pallet, but at least probably 100 boxes or more of this, and there's 6 of these in each box. They do not sell very fast. They do. I'm the only one that has them. Literally, I think on Amazon I'm the only listing, and then I think even on eBay I might be the only listing for it. I'm the only one that has it, but evidently it wasn't very popular and not very many people are buying it. Unlike the shampoo that I sell all the time, these ones take forever to sell. So honestly, I hate to do it, but unless I just have a bunch of extra room when I move, I will probably be donating these to like a local charity or something, or a resale shop or something when I move, because they weigh a ton and I don't feel like moving them. So that's probably what will happen with these, but I'll keep selling them till then, unless somebody wants to come pick it up from me. They can do that, but definitely not looking forward to moving it, so I'll probably just get rid of it. But worth it. Honestly, I still made my money back on it. I made all my money back, and I'm making profit on the deal, even with the shampoo or even with the conditioner. So it's not like I'm losing money. I hate throwing product away because it does sell, but it's just too much. That was one of those bulk buys I did from my local bin store. And like I said, the shampoo is worth it, 100%. I don't know how much money. I'll have to look it up. I should look it up and see how much money I've actually made on that deal, because it was insane. I've made a ton off of it, but that side of it was not good. So live and learn. This is going out to Bob in Texas. He bought 2 bottles of that. And like I said, we paid 50 cents for it and sold 2 bottles for 20 bucks. So $1 into 20 is not a bad deal. Next up, we are almost done, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out here with me. I think I've got, well, I say I'm almost done. I got about 10 orders left here. So we'll keep moving through them. Next up is just another pair of these shorts. We paid $8 for these, and again, sold these ones for $25. Didn't get the $29 that the blue one sold for. But I am just moving these. I have it priced competitively just because I want them to sell this season. That way I can get them out of the way and I don't have to hold them. I don't mind holding inventory, but when I'm only making like these, I'm barely making my half. I might make $6, $8 off of these. I don't necessarily want to hold on to that for till next season. So I'm keeping it competitive to where I can still make my margin on it, but just need to get out here. You guys ever get tired of me talking? Somebody, my buddy Pete and another buddy of mine, were talking about how I literally can talk for 2 hours straight. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I'm surprised this many of you guys actually and hopefully enjoy it. Otherwise, I don't know why you'd be sticking around. But I do find it crazy I could talk this long and it'd be mostly one-sided. You guys leave comments and stuff, which helps a lot, but it is crazy. All right, so we got that going out. This one's going to Kristen in Biloxi. There's a movie that's Biloxi. I forget what that's from. I feel like there's a movie that talks about that. Next up, we got a bucket hat that we sold for $40, guys. $40. Would you buy this bucket hat for $40? Believe it or not, I've sold this twice. It did get returned. Somebody said it was too small. And it is a size, one size fits all or something. Yeah, looks like it. But I got it back, so we aren't going to make as much on this one, unfortunately. But give me 1 second here, guys. Sorry. All right. That one did sell for $40 on Amazon. Hopefully it stays sold this time. But we only paid, I think, $6 for these. I can't remember if I got these from a supplier or if I got them from a Kohl's sale. I did buy some from a Kohl's sale. Keep on talking. Thank you, PJ. I appreciate that. Shelby said, hey, reselling is a lonely business. Good to hear from someone else. Shelby, you have no idea how true that is. That is so true. I talk about all the time why I do this, and I want to share and all that, but it really is. We every now and then in the bread and butter group we'll end up with some people in voice chat and just hang out, and it's just awesome because you don't get to talk with people that do this. That's one of the cool things about bread and butter just in general is the group it's a bunch of like-minded people. It's a bunch of people that do what you do, and that's been a huge thing. Like that has been probably one of the biggest advantages. Not only do you get help and stuff from it, but just to have somebody to talk to about rants or a good sale that you got or whatever. I love my wife dearly, but she doesn't understand. Not that she doesn't understand. It's just she's not interested in this. She doesn't have an interest in reselling or anything like that. She's got her own career and stuff like that she handles, and she does great with. But it's not the same. I get all excited about these buys. I get my bulk buys. I tell her all about it, and she's like, "Yep, that's cool, hon." But it's not her thing. So it's nice to have people to talk to about different things and different things that you work with. That's one of the biggest things I missed from doing retail is I enjoyed the interaction with my associates and stuff like that worked for me, other managers and stuff. And you miss out on that whenever you don't have that. So that's one of the cool things about being in here. Let's see, Shelby. I have no friends locally that are interested in reselling. For me, it's the treasure hunt. Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way, honestly. I do have a cousin, Crystal. I don't know if she's in here today, but she watches a lot of the live streams. She does reselling, and we talk about it. So I do have some of that. My sister has dabbled in it a little bit, but they don't sell what I sell. So they do a lot of used, used products as far as clothing and stuff like that. I don't sell that stuff. So yeah, I feel you. You don't have those people that you can just talk to about it. I don't have anybody locally that really does it either. So I feel you there. So it's nice to have that interaction. And that's one of the things here. We can hang out, talk about stuff. It doesn't even have to be reselling. Just whatever's going on in life. And it gives me away. We are at 2 hours and 15 minutes. Sorry, give me 1 moment here. I need to move along here. We got a couple more orders to go out. And we'll be good to go here. Give me 1 second. Let me respond to a message. Let's see. Sorry. My wife called me and I ignored it, but I need to make sure it's not something important. So she knows I do this. So might have to cut it short. We'll see. Melinda bought this hat. I don't even know if I showed this to you guys. I think I just tore the hat off or the thing. It was another Under Armour hat. We actually bought this from the Kohl's clearance event, paid $9 for these ones, and sold it for $29.99 on Amazon. So another great deal there. Under Armour hats do tend to do well over there. If they don't get tanked out too bad, but they tend to come back. People buy a lot of them. This is one of those few 5950s that I can actually sell on Amazon. Thank you. Oh, I don't have it up. I can't remember. I feel so bad because I looked it up to make sure I got the credit. I'm gonna look it up, guys. One of the guys over in Bread and Butter sold this to me. And yes, Wonton. That's who it is. I knew I had the name. Thank you so much. He actually wholesaled these out to me for a great price on these, and we're selling it for $50. They're selling like crazy. These Red Sox hats, and it's really cool because they are on Amazon. It's one of the few 5950s I have that's on Amazon, and so that's why it's selling so fast. But we've sold, I think we're down to the last 2 of the quarter size. I've got some other sizes, obviously, but we sold those. And he actually just sold me some more different ones, but a different style of hat. And sold those to me. I'll be getting those this week also. So shout out to him. Thank you so much. One of the advantages to Bread and Butter, just one of the few, is the wholesale channel. And you can sell out if you have inventory that you're just trying to get out of the way, or you need whatever, like I sell over there a lot of the clothing. I have a supplier that supplies me with some sports apparel and stuff. I don't like listing the clothing, and it's just not me. So what I'll do is I'll buy it from him and then I'll wholesale it out to the group. That way I can still keep that connection good, but I can, offer it to the guys over there. And a lot of people do that. There's several people over that do that. Or they might be moving. For instance, there's been a few guys moving that they're just trying to get some inventory out of the way so they don't have to move it. So they'll wholesale it out to the group, and then you can turn around and resell it. It's a great opportunity, and we do a lot over there with that and try to as much as we can. But yeah, I can't say enough about the group, but like I said, that's one of the advantages over there. You can get some pretty good deals on stuff like this. Speaking of that, I will have some more apparel going up over there, hopefully this week. So if you are interested, let me know. But we'll be posting that up in the group. Hopefully, like I said, if everything goes to plan, if I can get done with everything that I need to, hopefully this week we'll be able to get that up. To move it, I just need to get it out of the way. Next up, we have these slides here, the Hey Dude Phoenix camo tiger stripes. Picked these up on a steal of a deal, and we are selling them for $44.99. Can't tell you what I'm paying for those right this minute. I think I've actually mentioned it, but I'm going to hold off on saying what I paid for it or where I got them for now. We'll talk about it later on in a later video. But yeah, selling these for $44.99 over on Amazon. Again, slides I sell on Amazon because I don't have too much of an issue with returns. Most people know the size, and they're not specific sizes, so if it's a little small, a little big, people don't just try to return it immediately. All right, wife just forgot. Okay, so nothing crazy important there. She just forgot I was still doing the videos. I have an extra label. That's not good. Hopefully, that's not the label that I think it is, but we'll find out. All right, next up, we are down to what, the last 5 orders here. Let's get these out quick. Next up, we have another Under Armour hat going out from the Academy sale that we picked up. We're selling these for $28.99. The tag does say $28. It's $1 difference. I'm going to leave it on there. I don't think I'll get too much of a complaint, but we paid $11 for these, and it's going out to Kristen in Northport, Florida. All right. Get that one out there. Oh, man. What a video, guys. Thanks for hanging out. 2 hours and 20 minutes. I didn't expect it to take that long. I feel like I got either really sidetracked or we had more orders than I thought. I don't know. But it's been good. Thanks for all the comments and the questions and all that good stuff. I appreciate that. Next up, we have some Adidas slides that we picked up for the Kohl's clearance event. These are size 10s. I may have sold these before. No, I think I just pulled the tag off. Size 10. We paid $13 for these. which is a little more than I normally pay for slides, but I've sold so many of these exact colors, this colorway and everything, and even in the large size. Like I said, this is a size 10, and I believe that's a women's 10, so it'd be like an 8.5 men's. But it's kind of a large women's size. Still sold them for 34 bucks. Going out to Cassandra in Santa Fe. That's real close to home. But yeah, we sold these guys on Amazon again. Adidas slides, I am seeing an uptick in the returns on these, so I don't know if I'm going to keep selling them over there. I don't really know. I think it might be because of the cost, honestly. I sell them for $35 to $40, which is kind of high for slides, so I feel like that may be some of it. And people just, aren't fully satisfied, so they say the size is wrong or whatever to get the return. I think that might be some of it, but it's still worth it. Even with returns, like I said, they're under £1, so most of the time the return shipping is only like $6. That's what I have to eat. About $10-12 is what I normally have to eat on these. Which is still a bunch, and I don't like it, but I can't sell them that fast on eBay, so that's why we do it. Next up, we have a pair. I think I've talked about this. If I haven't already, you guys are going to get a little inside scoop here on this particular one. Vince, what's up? I'm not sure if you've covered, but what's the most expensive item you've ever sold? Okay. That's a good question. Most expensive item I've ever sold. So I've sold, as far as on eBay, I guess I should say, yeah, like on eBay or Amazon or whatever. The most expensive item I've sold was probably, right off the top of my head, I sold $1,000 motorcycle tank, like the gas tank for a motorcycle, brand new one. I sold $1,000 one of those. Sold $1,000 motorcycle exhaust. I know I've sold stuff for more than that. As far as one item, that would be it. Now, I've sold bulk deals on there. I've sold $7,000 worth in one sale when I was buying the Rogaine hair growth stuff from a bin store. So I mean, that wasn't one item. I think that was several of them. I think I sold them for 70, and I think I sold them like 100 boxes. So, and it was over $7,000 for that deal. But yeah, that would probably be, I think probably $1,000 is the most expensive items that I've sold, at least recently in the past couple of years. I don't get very many super expensive items like that anymore. But we bought those from auction. And then like I said, I bought stuff from auction and sold it like locally because I didn't want to ship it. I sold some doors for a side-by-side and stuff for like $1,500, $1,800. That's probably about the most expensive. But yeah, so these here are the Nike Vapor baseball pants. These are a deal that I really worked out. We were buying these from Burlington. This is a call out in what's it called? In bread and butter that we were buying from Burlington, that we're paying like $5 to $7 a pair for these, and they were selling for like $25-30. It wasn't anything crazy on eBay. What I found is that the listing for them on Amazon did not match the UPC number, but is the exact same item. And I don't know if it was just newer, older model, whatever it was. Everything is identical on them. And found the eBay list or the Amazon listing. We were selling these for $50 for these pants. And I was buying them for $5 to $7. I actually bought a whole bunch off of some people in bread and butter. I paid them like $10 a pair. They made a couple bucks because they were buying them for $5, but they weren't being able to sell them on eBay. I found the Amazon listing and was one of the only people on it, and was selling them for $50 to $60 a pop, and we're literally selling 10 to 20 pair a day for a short period of time there. So much so, I literally bought so many of these. I ran out of them. I couldn't find them from anybody else. So I went and started buying them off of eBay for $15 to $20 a pair. They had tanked so bad on eBay down to like $15. I was buying 50 to 100 pair at a time from eBay and reselling them on Amazon. I have 3 totes full of them. They've completely slowed down. People found the Amazon listings, and then when Nike went through and removed a bunch of listings, those listings were on it. So I lost like half the ones that I have now. I didn't buy any more. I kind of gave up on it because through the summer they slowed down, and I didn't want to tie up more money on it. I probably should have, but I didn't. And so I just have what's left. And then when Nike, I'm really glad I didn't though, because when Nike went through, they did remove a bunch of those listings. So I kind of got lucky with that, and I didn't get tanked too bad. Like I said, I've still got 4 totes of them that I'm trying to get rid of, but they sold like crazy, and it was a great, like I said, crazy deal to be able to get those and flip them. And it was just because I just happened to figure that out. It wasn't because they weren't available, because there were thousands of them available. But that was probably one of the coolest retail to retail, or sorry, marketplace to marketplace places. And there was also another listing on Amazon at 1.2 that had the same sizes that were tanked. The price was tanked, but the second listing that somebody had created, probably not Nike, was just as popular. So the ranking was just as good, and the sell-through was just as good on those. And so that's what we were doing. I actually bought some off of Amazon and turned around and flipped it. When somebody would list them super cheap on Amazon, I would buy them out and then turn around and resell them on there. Crazy deal on those pants. And we did, like I said, a number of sales off of those. I don't even know how many hundreds of pairs I sold of those, but that was a really cool deal that we got. I can talk about it now. I didn't want to talk about it in some of the live streams. I actually covered it in some of the live streams, but I didn't want to cover it because I was still selling so many of them. I didn't want to give away my secret, but I'll give it away now. Like I said, it probably won't be that way because Amazon took down those listings, so now everybody's on the same listing. But just another way to kind of be a crazy way. And to be fair, at the time, I didn't realize that was not an official listing, or it may still have been. It may just been an old SKU that Nike takes down, because they do take down some older SKUs and stuff. But that's what it was. This is another Under Armour hat that we bought from the Academy sale. What's funny about this one is one of those ones they grabbed a completely wrong hat. I didn't order this. I ordered a gray one or something like a snapback. Whoever was the employee on that day just decided to grab it and ship it. And it turns out it sold. It actually sold faster than the snapbacks that I ordered, so it worked out for me in that one. But sold that one for $29.99 as well over on Amazon. Sorry, I missed out on some of the cups. Is there an item you can't get enough of? Oh yeah. So like right now, well, I don't have any. Honestly, those New Balance shoes that I sell, I would buy 100 more pair of those. I can't find enough of those right now. There are some hats that I've had that I can't find enough of that I've been able to sell like crazy. I've sold out those. What was it? What was the name of the company? Sorry, give me 1 second here. This one's going to Dakota in West Virginia. There's a ranch or something like that. What's up, Recon? Thanks for joining in, man. Appreciate it. Shoot, label stuck. Uh-oh. Gotta get this off. Oof, okay. I forget what the name of that ranch was. It's like a flat bill, but it had a particular name brand on it. I sold so many of those, and I would love to get some more of those. There's all kinds of items I'd love to get more of. The Rogaine, though, that I talked about, that was probably one of the best ever deals I think I ever got, for how many I got and what sold and such. Shoot, is that the right one? Oh, okay, this is the next one. Sorry, thought I packed the wrong order there for a second. All right, last item going out today. You guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, hit me up right now. We are going to get out of here in just a second. Once we ship this next one, just another Under Armour hat. We did sell it for $32.99. I do have to take it out of the package because the tag says 28. Somehow out of work. You're somehow out of work. Yeah, I was gonna say you should be at work. Where you going? Yeah, so this one here we did sell for $32.99. This is just an all black Under Armour trucker hat. Really nice hat, actually. I don't like the mesh back trucker hats. So, for personal, like what I would wear. But I do kind of like the style of this one. I might have to keep one. I don't know. We'll see. Sold it for $32.99, and it is going out to, let's see, Kathy in Dillon, South Carolina. Recon says, decided to hop on and say what's up. Hey, appreciate it, man. I know you hop in when you can. Now that you're got your job, I'm sure you're trying to get used to working that and doing the resale business. That's got to be interesting. I don't miss that. That used to drive me nuts. I would sit at work and think about all the stuff that I would want to actually be doing with reselling. So whether that was whether that was going and sourcing or, you know, doing listings or whatever, I would sit at work doing my day job and hating the fact that I couldn't be at home doing my retail or doing the reselling. And that's actually what kind of gave me the go ahead to go full time with this, is just because I felt like if I could invest all my time into this, I would be doing better. I'll be honest with you, I am making more money, but with scaling the business, I'm actually making less, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to scale my business as much as I can while we're in the financial situation that we are. And so I'm taking all my profits, investing it back in, besides the salary that I pay myself. And that salary is less than what I was making before. So if I was to actually take my profit and, you know, and calculate it, and I am, but to scale the business, you have to keep investing in it. And yeah, so it's not quite the same, but I love it. I love what I do. So that makes up for all the less income that I have at the moment, because in the end, it will be better. It's going to work out that way. Making some sourcing stops on the way home. There you go. I used to do it all the time. Used to hit the bin stores after. I would have an hour from when I got off to when the bin store closed, and I would rush over to the bin store, shop the daylights out of it for the last hour, and then head home and then do listings and everything. It was crazy. Good times, good times. All right, let's see here. I think that is everything going out today. I have one extra order, or one extra label, but I think it's not that one. So something tells me I forgot to put a label on these packages. We're gonna have to check that out. I think I scanned it and didn't add it, but oh no, that is not. No, I do know what it is. It is the last item that we sold. We sold a Mercari item. I never sell a Mercari. That's why I never think about it. But we did sell this. This is literally one of the first things I ever bought from a bin store. Took forever to sell. I don't even necessarily know what it is. It's like a shape something, or e-sculpting. Has to do with like light, like red light or something like that. It's probably one of those scam items that, you know, says it will, what's it called? Will reduce weight and all that stuff. I don't know. On the side here, it says cavitation, radio frequency, vibrating massage, photons. So anyways, it did sell over on Mercari for $40. We had it listed for $50. These were selling for like $200 when I bought it. And I don't know why mine never sold, and I never paid attention to it. Completely forgot I had it. But when I listed it over on Mercari, we dropped the price clear down to $50 just to get rid of it, and someone offered me $40. Don't have the fees, so actually got about the same as if it was sold on eBay. But it did sell for $40. We paid obviously $8 or $9 for that one. I don't have a box, but I honestly need to get out of here, so we'll pack this up separately. That is what that last label is for. So we are done with our orders. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Before you leave, before you just hit that disconnect button, if you could throw me a like, I would greatly appreciate that. I don't like begging for those, but it does seem to be the thing that helps. The more likes we get on the video, it does seem to push it a little bit more and get a few more views. So if you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate if you hit that like button, that thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, obviously, subscription is also very helpful. We'll be hitting it up next week. As far as I know, there are no issues, so we'll be doing the next live stream next week. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, let me know in the comment box below or in my private messages. Check out the Instagram, all that good stuff. I feel like a full-on YouTuber when I go through all this, talking about all this stuff. But the link's in the description for the Instagram and all that. We do some more behind the scenes over there if you aren't following me over there. I think that is it. Other than that, like I said, thank you all so much for all your support, all your watching, all your comments. It's been awesome to talk to you guys, and we will see you next week for another episode of The Day in the Life. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.